Welcome to Balls and Brews, episode 27. Cheers, boys.
Oh, cheers.
Oh, wow. That's a
Okay.
full flavor.
Yes. Okay, so that's perfect. That's not a white. Okay, so what this is called Powder Hound. It's a winter IPA by Big Sky. You go ahead and show us the can. Pretty unique little can. It's a winter IPA, so what that means, okay, this is the juniper and the sage, and this is much more of a floral IPA, and I'm all about this kind of IPA.
Excuse me.
It's not just hops, like, do you get that really
You
rich,
get more,
herbal,
yeah.
like, yeah. Huge fan
Have
of
you-
the winter version of that.
Anybody been to Big Sky Brewing?
No.
Dude, that'd be one I'd love to go to.
Sure.
My folks speak very highly of Montana and as far as
I'd love
like
to see
the
it.
landscape for sure. So I could imagine just drinking a beer out in the big ass country out there would be pretty chill.
Tasty brewski,
Yeah.
very light in color.
Drinks at 6.5. So as we just mentioned, Big Sky out of Missoula, Montana is where they brew out of. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. Definitely one of the better brews I've had from them. They also do a great brown called Moose Drool,
Which we might drink later.
because it came in a what?
A mixed pack.
A mixed
So
pack.
the question today of beer is just mixed packs in general. What do you think of them? I love them. That's where I kind of grew my beer drinking, was from mixed packs. Like having those other IPAs to drink once I finished, for example, like Alaskan. You get that mixed pack. You get amber, and then you get like they have like a white that's really good. But then you got to drink the IPA and the seasonal, and then you're like, oh, that's not bad. And then you get another mixed pack, and and then you just start kind of once everybody else leaves.
It provides options where you're not necessarily always certain of what you want. You kind of want a little bit of everything.
Correct.
Yeah, it's nice variety. You get, a mix of different flavors. You can find new beers that you enjoy.
It is a cool way to typically find a new beer within a brewery you like, right? Like you kind of already know the brewery that you might be aiming for with the mixed pack.
Sure.
And you're like, oh, okay, I've tried these beers by them, but I've never tried those beers by them. So that is definitely a legit way of going about that. Not a lot of breweries have enough standalone beers to really do
You
that
know, and
anymore.
it's
though,
kind
you
of.
know what I mean?
I made a comment. I think like probably a month ago. I was looking for a mixed pack for the pod. It was like, and I couldn't find one or one that was decent. And then I used to remember being able to go and you'd be able to find like a ton of mixed packs. It doesn't seem like there's as many as there used to.
I would say not in the beer selection. You know where it is? It's the seltzers and the ready to drinks, man. That aisle is growing
God, I am
massively.
I am not a fan of ready to drinks. They are too syrupy for me.
The seltzers for sure, all day. A good cider, a hard kombucha, all about all of that stuff. When you start talking about the like pre-mixed cocktails, those are typically always not good.
Talking about last week, we talked about beers we drank.
Right.
Dude, I drink an Imperial cider. My brother
Okay.
bought it to the tailgate. It was fucking delicious. 8.5
Do
cider.
you remember who was
I
buying?
should have taken a picture.
Ah,
I should have taken
missed
a picture.
opportunity. You
Yes.
guys. Go on the Reddit search for 8.5 cider. And throw
Imperial
us some
cider.
suggestions.
Absolutely delicious. It was so good. So good. I forgot.
So, since the last time we've been on, man, big ass news in the NFL, bro. Aaron Rodgers plays 4 plays as a Jet.
Blows
Snaps
his
his
Achilles.
Achilles. You guys. I mean,
Um,
none of us here. Okay, it's not to say that I want to shit on Aaron Rodgers, but that's tough. That's
you don't
bad.
want to see.
You
like,
never want to see.
You don't
that.
want to see somebody end their career on injury. He said he's coming back, but dude, he's getting old.
All
That's
of
a
the
rough-
reports
that's a rough
just
decision.
today were saying he wants to come back for the playoffs. He wants to come back for the
Sure.
playoffs. But the Jets got to make the playoffs.
Trev, what did you say about that pick? You brought that pick up.
So yeah, that changes the trade that the Packers made. So instead of getting a first round pick in next year's draft, they only get a second round pick. So I mean, yeah, it has all kinds of consequences. Man, I mean,
That is so
It
unfortunate.
crushes that
man.
like teams like hopes.
yeah, there's so much talk about like, will the Jets bring somebody else in. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either. Who are you gonna bring in? There's
Like-
nobody else. Like Carson Wentz ain't gonna come in and change your season. Are you gonna trade for Kyler? Trey Lance has already been traded for. So are you gonna trade for Garoppolo?
Cousins.
You know, or
swing for Cousins.
Cousins is the name
He's in
that
his
I
last
hear.
year, his deal.
Yeah,
Cousins.
last year his deal, especially if the Vikings aren't good this season.
but I mean, even if they would have had like, I would even feel more confident if they had Jacoby Brissett or Heineke instead of Zach Wilson. I watched, they, at one point this morning, or whenever that game was on, it was this morning, right?
Yeah.
He was 2 for fucking 5, and it was less than 2 minutes in the first half.
He had thrown the ball only 5 attempts.
Before they got the ball
Right.
with less than 2 minutes, yes.
Mm.
I mean, that's not too surprising though. You're trying to protect him.
But they
But
did.
you wouldn't be protecting Heineke or Brissett. Each of them would have more throws. Like they need to make if they want to. If Aaron can come back before the playoffs, they need to do something at that position to give them a shot. They're 0-2, and Dolphins look on fucking fire. And I don't think the Patriots look that bad.
No.
Shout out to
Bills again.
Yeah, they had their bounce back week against the
Fucking
Raiders.
smoked my Raiders.
I mean,
That's
we'll get
aight.
into that later.
That's aight. But it is.
But overall, that changes the huge narrative of this season, you guys. The New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers was supposed to. They were the attraction. They were the sexy new thing that was supposed to be all over the NFL. And 4 plays, you guys. Not even a full drive.
No.
I think he had 1 pass attempt, right? It just.
Yes.
A Rodgers, that's unfortunate, bro. I wish you the best in rehab. If you can come back and play, that would be a much better ending to your storied career, because that's rough, dude.
Yeah, you don't want to see somebody go.
I don't.
You want to see Peyton looked real rough that last year. Couldn't even throw a ball. Couldn't move. You don't want to see these dudes that are legendary go out. You want to see the John Elway stuff, where you literally win a Super Bowl and then you're done. Peyton won, but he didn't really win.
He rode Brock Osweiler to the Super Bowl and then they benched him.
Well, they rode that fucking defense.
Vaughn Miller. Oh my God, he changed that whole Super Bowl 50. Just mashed Cam Newton.
Another thing that I think changes a lot of stuff is Chris Jones getting signed by the Chiefs.
Yeah, they only gave up 9 points today.
That is that's their anchor. It's their guy. It's their stud. And actually, he really only gets $5 million extra in incentives. He didn't get any more money. It's still his 19 and a half was his base salary. All he did was get extra incentives pulled in. So it wasn't even like he got a huge payday. But I think that's a pretty big move for that defense.
Oh yeah, they needed it. I'm surprised they didn't get it done for week 1.
With that was it. That's ridiculous.
Why a 1 year deal? The whole thing is weird. Is he trying to hit the open market?
Why
is that it?
Well, they didn't really give him anything else. They didn't give him an extension. All they did was just add in his more incentives into his deal. So it's the same deal.
Then that's a win for the Chiefs.
And I think that's kind of what he wanted, though. It sounded like he just wanted a bit of a raise.
Put it on your back, Jones. Put it on your back.
I was thinking we'd see 3-year extension or something.
No.
I think maybe if they would have gotten it done sooner, but as late as it was, they were just trying to push to get it out and done. So what else do we have?
Let's jump into the college football, bro.
Oh, dude.
Let's obviously start with the upset. We talked about it being maybe the only games to watch this weekend. We said Mississippi State might be with LSU, not LSU rolled. But we did say that Florida and Tennessee might be a good game. Florida ends up coming up with the big time upset there and jumps them into the top 25, which makes a Utah win over Florida look even better for Utah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, dude, Tennessee they looked good when I was watching it, and all of a sudden I turned around and I was
They
like,
didn't.
damn. Yeah. Their first couple drives, I was like, oh yeah, Tennessee's kind of rolling.
Well, who looked real good was Trevor Etienne.
Yes.
Player of the game right there. 23 carries, 172 yards, and a touchdown.
Get off me,
obviously,
boy.
brother of
Travis.
Etienne in NFL.
And yeah, it looks like he's going to the league as well. Sophomore, though.
Yes. A couple close calls, though.
Oh my God,
Florida State
dude.
snuck away from
Boston
College.
Yeah.
Which, you're going to have those games, but it is a win. It's not a loss.
Right.
It was ugly. I mean, I think with Florida State, those 2 big receivers just muscle like a lesser team, and that kind of willed them past BC. But what about the other upset? Kansas State.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Went down to
Mizzou.
Mizzou.
Good game.
61-yarder, y'all.
Yep, SEC record.
It's amazing.
Good game,
Kids
too.
never make that. They normally don't even kick from like 45 yards.
I was
sometimes.
a little disappointed to see that upset. K-State's like an easy team to root for, and Mizzou isn't in the SEC, so it's nice to see SECs get those out-of-conference losses.
Chestnut checkers.
Upset. And then, did you guys happen to watch any of the South Carolina-Georgia first half? It was pretty close. Rattler kept winning it. They were up 14-3 going into halftime. So I was like, man, Rattler's looking okay. South Carolina's defense is looking okay. And then all of a sudden, the second half, Georgia actually showed up and came out. And then South Carolina missed some of the stuff they were hitting early and ended up not being able to do anything really. They threw a pick towards the end of the game as they were driving. But Georgia kind of gets away with one, and another team that got away. So go ahead, T.
I was just going to say also that just since John Edwards also kind of took that game over, the senior running back for Georgia, 20 carries, 118 yards, another touchdown.
Yes.
He kind of was in control of that.
Yeah, Beck really didn't play that well.
It was okay. It was a lot of yards and
Not
okay
a lot of
on the.
scores.
He was 27 for 35, so it wasn't bad. He just didn't have any touchdowns.
Right. And then Bama doesn't even start the kid
Ooh.
from last week. They start the other kid, and
And
they only
still
go
suck.
3-3.5, right?
Yeah, they
17-3 was the final line.
benched Milrow for the transfer,
Yeah.
Buchner, and then he sucks, or he didn't play well. I should
He didn't
say.
play well.
He didn't play well, so they put in I think he's a 5-star redshirt freshman, that Ty Simpson kid,
Yeah.
took over the rest of the game, and he kind of, I don't know, Bama's offense looks like old Bama.
They don't look good, dude.
Well, they don't have a guy.
They don't look like they're going to win any national
Dude,
championship.
they're down to
anytime
number
soon.
13. It's the first time in so many years that they've been out of the top 10. I'll have to look at what the actual number of years is. But dude,
Well,
they're
no,
out of
because
the
there was
top.
one year not that long ago where they
Man, I don't think they ever fell out of the top 10. It's been years. It's been since Nick Saban's taken basically over after the first year.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
from his second year on, yeah, something crazy.
The way that they look right now, I don't think they're in the
They don't
playoff.
seem trustworthy at all.
Dude, they don't look good.
Their game plans have not. Just being athletic isn't getting it done.
Well, they're not
there's
getting
no-
the number one recruiting classes anymore.
Now Georgia's rolling those. Even
And some of these other
they're
teams
saying
are.
Texas A&M is highly
Right.
recruited.
That's
even
why.
though you
That's
never
why
see that shit
That's why
work
Jimbo's
out.
got to be done.
Yeah. It's just the contract is the only reason I think they haven't moved off of him yet. Bama was another school though where the running back shone, of course, with quarterback trouble. So they had Williams rush for 129 and a touchdown, and McKellen rush for 13 or 74 yards off 13 carries too. So
Efficiency, baby.
Dude, and then, did you guys watch Colorado
Fucking
State?
prime, dude.
Dude.
oh my God, this
Colorado
is
State
needed to
almost
give
had
it
the
a week.
upset, man. Almost had the upset. They fucking came back and got him. Dude, huge.
We had him. We let him off the hook.
Yeah,
Dude,
game
they had
of the
him,
week.
dude.
Game of the week. Travis Hunter taken to the
Hey,
hospital.
did we
following
follow
the
up?
dirt
Any
road.
follow up on that?
He's out for a couple weeks, but I didn't
yeah.
see the play. What was the play?
So it was just it was a late hit. It was kind of like the one we just witnessed, where wide receiver, the ball's kind of overthrown. So he kind of just flows up, and the defenders are kind of running with him, and the safety comes over and hits him. Not paying
Ear holes
attention.
in. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was a
dude?
bit dirty just because the safety wasn't aware of what was going on. The guys are slowing up, and he's just going in for the hit. Hunter goes to the hospital.
Yep.
Prime says he might be out a couple weeks. But
Best to you, bro. Come on.
Yeah, no,
Because he's
no,
a
nice
stud.
boss.
He's a stud. I want to see that kid keep on playing.
Just be okay, kid.
Shador still balled out though.
Yeah.
38 for 47, 348,
Dude, if they
four
get a-
touchdowns.
So what happens when they need to run the ball? What happens when they run into
Well-
a real team with a real defense?
Well, that's
that,
what I think we.
Well, he
might
still
find
got
out.
sacked like 7 or 8 times.
Is it that many times?
Dude, he's getting sacked a bunch per game. We'd have to pull it up, but he's getting sacked a bunch.
Dude,
Still, in the fourth quarter, they were down 11. They made a 98-yard touchdown drive, and then the interception by Woods in the end zone to win it in the double overtime.
Come on.
Damn.
So they got a tough game coming up.
Ride the high Colorado, but you're running into. They're going into Autzen too, aren't they?
Yes.
Oh,
that's how we find out.
That ain't Fort Worth, bro. That ain't TCU. Like Autzen is the zoo,
this
bro.
Is the best team they're gonna play so
far for sure. Like Bo Nix is a bona fide college quarterback. I don't know.
Dude, they're saying top. Dude, they're projecting Bo to be late first round pick.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't see it, but that's what you see a lot of projections. Is he's like the fourth or fifth quarterback.
He has up and down games too. He's not consistent enough to be a first round guy.
I think he'll fall once some of these other guys test out. So those are some of the big ones. But dude, we had some quarterbacks shell out. So Trev, Penix, I think my handwriting I messed up. So 27 for 35. Is it 473?
Yes, that is 473.
4 tutties.
Huskies, let's go.
Dude, I think he's the third best quarterback, guys. I really do.
He throws
I think he's
such a pretty deep ball. He's got to go to the right place that will allow him to play, that style. But
I think he's better than Ewers. And I watched Drake play this week. Drake made some fucking pretty gnarly throws on the run. That kid has got a cannon.
Yeah.
So I don't think he jumps Drake. But Penix, man, I think he's my solid 3.
I'm with you. I think
solid 3.
He's closer to Drake than he is to the guys behind him.
Correct. I'm still not a Ewers fan. I gotta see more. But then also Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah, these
30 for 34, 361, 2 throwing touchdowns, and then he went 15 rushes for 64 yards for
another
2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, those both got to be the players of the week, man. Those quarterbacks just
really
just
lot of action
out,
right there. That's a whole lot of action.
And then Sam Hartman, we're a Sam Hartman fan club.
We're following him. He's in contention.
These guys
me and Trevor.
Don't lump me into that.
Me and Trevor and Sam Hartman.
Hey, even though he's playing for Notre Dame,
I really like him.
I started following him at
Notre Dame versus OSU coming up, y'all. That's this week too.
Sam Hartman goes 16 for 26 for 330 and 3 more touchdowns. Dude, he is balling out right now, Trev, and I'm excited to see it. Like Trev said, follow him in Wake Forest. Caught my eye there, and I can't wait to see.
QBs, man.
Yeah,
we're ripping on the QBs. This year it's fantastic.
And like we said last week, right now the way that these quarterbacks are playing, that could be coming out, is going to make some of these starters that aren't playing good
pressed.
Dude, you got guys coming out that are going to be ready to ball.
This is probably the best. It seems like it.
Dude,
I know maybe it's recency bias, but some of the best quarterbacks I think we're about to see.
It's possible. It's setting up to be that for sure.
And it's even just the dudes like the Hartmans and the Penixes. We know Caleb and Drake, but it's the Penixes and the Hartmans that make me excited. There's multiple dudes in this class that could be.
Yeah, before it was just the couple quarterbacks with the Manning and Brady duels and stuff like that, and now the ASC is already stacked, and you have all these guys that look like they could be that guy too.
Which is the NFC does their job, and
they're going to get a lot of them.
Well, you could have the Bucs could have a new quarterback.
We're talking about the Bucs are 2-0, baby.
I know. Trev, do you have any other games you want to touch down, or any other dudes that popped out to you before we jump into next week?
2 other games I wanted to touch on. Michigan real quick, just because Blake Corum, he had
JJ did not.
101 with 2 rushing touchdowns. JJ threw 3 picks, so that was a struggle.
3, dude.
Yeah, and against Bowling Green.
Yeah. Dude, fucking some of these teams
are soft schedule, bro.
Dude, that's why we gotta. Dude,
because they played UNLV and
yeah,
it's soft for Michigan so far.
And then let's see, the other game I wanted to touch on was the Kentucky Ohio State game, just because McCord, I think he looks like the best quarterback between the Georgia and Alabama. He threw for 318 and 3 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison's Jr.'s gone off again. 5 receptions, 126 yards and a touchdown.
He's starting to get it.
And their running back was good too. He 88 yards and 2 touchdowns off 13 carries. Their backup running back was pretty good too. Like, their skill positions are good at Ohio State.
Always.
Is Marvin Harrison the first non-quarterback coming off the board, or do you think a tight end or defensive player might sneak up?
I would guess that an end would sneak up ahead of him. I think he's easily the first receiver, and he's probably a top 10 receiver. I just don't know where, depending on the teams and everything.
He could go 2. He could go.
He could, but I feel like he's in a probably. I know it's way early, but I think it's closer to 5.
It could be closer to 5. Let's jump into some. We got some fucking huge games next week. We got about 7 of them that I think are massive. 6 of them are ranked versus ranked.
Let's go.
The first one we'll talk about is the one that's non-ranked, and I still think it's really good big.
Yeah, it's
Florida State,
Game.
Clemson. Florida State wins this game.
Clemson's not ranked, right?
They're 2-1. Kind of smashed the last 2 people they played, but Florida State wins this game. They don't see anybody. I think will have to look when they see Miami.
I mean, those are the only 2 teams that really challenge.
But this
for
might put
Right
Florida State. If they win this might secure that 4. Or at least one of the top 4. So I think that's
as
why
long as you can obviously got to run the table, but it makes your situation a lot easier moving forward.
Yeah, Florida State's looking like the favorite though to do that for sure.
Agreed.
Next big game. I don't read them in any order. I think maybe they're on TV this week.
Are yours the updated rankings from yesterday?
Yes.
Or today?
Number 19 Colorado versus number 10 Oregon. Right. That is
Yes.
That is new. I do have the new rankings.
Colorado at Oregon.
Colorado at Oregon, dude. This is the first big one.
That's what you're talking about,
right?
Yeah, this could be tough. I don't know. This is where I think Oregon probably takes this game.
If they don't, oh my God!
I mean, Colorado's already been the story in college
Exactly,
football.
no,
if they pull this off,
Lord,
this is
super crazy.
We wouldn't hear
this is going to
be
be an extremely different team though that they're seeing. Correct? Like
Fast.
defensive line is like we said. We got to look at the stats, but I think he got sacked like 7 times still against Colorado State. You got to be protected, man.
Dude,
and they can't run the ball to offset it.
No,
right?
47 times did you say, Trev?
It wasn't great, but I mean, I don't have those numbers in front of me.
No. Sanders' total throws. How many times did he?
Sanders, 47.
47, dude.
That's already the second time he's gone over 40, and he went for like 38 in that second game. He's thrown for they're just slinging it, which will work to a certain extent until it doesn't.
This is a really good beer.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm about to finish mine. But yeah, I think,
dude, if they win, fuck.
Yeah,
fuck, dude, they fucking ride
this
that
game
way,
get
dude.
Crazy TV ratings. This is going to be like the most watched game of the weekend.
Correct.
And there's a lot of good games to watch this Saturday.
Oregon is going to be, because of TV ratings, dude, Knight is going to have some sick unis, dude.
Ooh.
I bet Oregon's unis for this game are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I bet they're fucking awesome.
I bet you they're going to say, fuck Prime.
No way, bro.
Can't say that.
Don't make it personal.
You can't say that. Don't make it personal. Five shades.
A lot of these games this week, too, that we're about to mention are actually Pac-12 ranked teams.
Let's go, baby.
So this very next one, let's do a little cheers to the Pac-12 because we are Pac-12 fans.
For the final year.
Big up for the Pac-12, no doubt.
Next one is number 22 UCLA at number 11 Utah. Man, Utah gets this win here, jumps into the top 10. Oregon does what they need to do and knocks off Colorado. That puts 3 teams in the top 10 for the Pac. 4 teams, because Washington would be up there too.
Yeah,
that would put 4 teams in the top 10 for the Pac-12.
A league that's dissolving, a division that's dissolving. That wasn't good enough. What?
But and it's like, you got to root for. But
how absurd is that?
I'm like so rooting for Utah and Oregon just for that fact.
Oh yeah, no.
Because I want 4 of them in the back. I'm like, dude, okay, start watching West Coast fucking football. Washington's legit. USC legit, and then now you got Oregon and Utah. That'd be fucking awesome.
And then you'd have Oregon State meddling around in the mid-teens.
So we're gonna get to
thing.
Yep, we're gonna get to them. But I think this next game is actually maybe one of the bigger games this week.
Which guy?
Ole Miss, Bama.
Oh,
Number 15, Ole Miss, and the lowest ranked Bama's been in a while at 13.
I kind of like Kiffin to get his win here.
it's a knockout.
It's at Bama.
It's a knockout for Bama. I think they're already pretty much out
It's
of the
a
playoff
knockout.
picture, but it's a 100%. Like
Team is looked. I think this is
They're
the time. This is
dude,
the
they
time.
can't
And this
score.
and that's a problem.
They're not good on offense.
And that could be the problem in this game. When they used to lose to teams back when they played that style, it was the teams that were fast. It was the teams that chucked the ball around the yard. If Ole Miss starts getting on a roll here, dude, they might have a hard time hanging with them.
Great.
Yeah, a lot of it will come down to darts play. I feel
Fuck, dude. I hope he plays great.
yeah.
Fuck.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, we can all generally say that we're not pulling for Bama to continue the dynasty, right?
Out of these three, no, we're definitely not.
No more Bama.
So
There's
here's
purple and gold up in there.
here's your Oregon State, number 14 Oregon State at
Okay.
number 21 Washington State.
Oh man, the two have-nots, and this is the pack two. This is the two-pack.
Pack
This
two.
is the
Two-pack.
the
The
two-pack.
I like it.
This is the two-pack. This is the only conference game we're gonna
and
have
the
this
two-pack's
year.
Oregon State really hasn't played anybody yet, but man, they really look unstoppable offensively, don't you think, Trev?
DJ's had a little bit of an up and down.
I didn't see what he did today.
I didn't write. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but it wasn't as nice as
Okay.
previous
No,
weeks.
it was pedestrian.
I still like Oregon State team over Washington State.
I do
though.
too.
Yeah, they beat. God, who was it? I watched most of that game.
It was I was watching part of it too, so I wanted to watch DJ, but then I ended up watching something else. Fuck, there's some good games on, man. I was bouncing around, even though
There's a shitload. Yeah, God love me some Saturday.
Okay, this probably actually is the biggest game of the weekend.
Bum, bum, bum.
Number 6 Ohio State versus number 9 Notre
100%.
Dame.
That's
This is the cream of the crop. Notre Dame gets this win. It bumps them way up. Ohio State gets this loss. They're on the window looking out because now Florida State wins earlier. That puts them undefeated. Notre Dame's not going to play anybody else the rest of the year.
Ohio State still got Michigan.
They get this win. Fuck, Ohio State could be on the window looking out too, because you're gonna have a LSU team with one loss.
Right.
They're gonna play better teams than you're gonna play. So Ohio State needs this. Notre Dame needs this real bad. I think this is a real big game, like for both schools.
I think this could be one of the better games on Saturday too. I know, of course, it's two top 10 teams, but I think both of these teams they're gonna make it a close game.
The implications of this game, like what it shapes, like in the playoff picture, is massive. Even though it's early in the season, because especially Ohio State, because they've made how many of the most recent, like they've been in the playoffs, like
they've been in all of it for sure.
Into a lot of them.
And this is the only top 10 matchup of the week.
Correct.
Dude, let's go 6v9.
This game is amazing. I love that we have this many, but this is a really great game of 6 and 9. You don't usually get to see like a top 10 matchup of out of conference.
Right. No, they normally avoid each other for that very reason,
Correct.
to not blemish each other's records. So, way to step up and book this. It's the first time in 25 years that Ohio State's making the trip to North Bend.
Dude, that place is gonna be fucking rocking.
Insane, dude.
Last game of the week that's against ranked teams, number 24 Iowa is going to go see number 7 Penn State.
Penn State, man, they're playing some good ball right now. They whooped on Illinois just yesterday. They put up was like 31-10.
Yeah, they're about third team in the Big Ten that could play spoiler to Michigan or Ohio State.
McCarthy plays like boo-boo, dude. Maybe Penn State gonna make you pay.
But they just fucking run the ball so well at Michigan too, where you could run for like 200 yards, and so
there's offsetting factors for sure. I'm not saying that, like.
No, I know. Dude, Michigan just. It doesn't fucking also you don't play a ranked team until you play Penn State.
Yeah.
In the middle of fucking November.
Right. No. So what do you really know about your team until you get the like. You gotta beat, especially in college. You have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. You have to beat the supposed you're gonna beat.
Fuck.
How'd that happen?
I know, Chuck beat me. Okay,
Sorry.
so anything else?
When we cheers, I finished.
Anything else you got in? Anything else you got in college?
For college?
Yeah.
No, man. I think that
I think
we
we
were
wrapped it
there.
up pretty well.
I think, yeah. Well, UNR, get your shit together.
Dude,
I don't
they
care
suck.
how you do it. Get a bag.
Well, look at the new
get-
hat,
get-
but the team sucks.
Put it in a locker. Get it all together.
Wow.
Get your shit.
They played a lot better this weekend than they looked like last weekend. Offensively, we just
They
struggled
got
to throw the ball. Yeah, it's not a great look. Let's jump into some MLB. The first news we're talking about is not great. Show is done. Oblique strain, 10-day DL basically puts him out.
He just should really be done. The Angels are done. Like, he's gonna walk. They're gonna lose him in free agency.
So Chuck, we talked about, me and Trev, I think when you missed about it was right after he got hurt, and what about his contract being a two-way player? And I said maybe you sign him for like 2 years, and after the 2 you tell him if you can still pitch, and we'll give you this big of a contract. What is your, since you weren't on that pod, what is your thoughts on his contract moving forward because of, you just said free agency?
Well, I don't know. You mean as far as like his complete value on the market? Like
Yeah,
what he's
yeah,
gonna
you-
fetch?
remember
Like,
we
it's
were
gonna-
talking
he's gonna
6
reset markers. It all depends on like.
But we were talking 600 as a two-way player.
Yeah,
Now he's having another surgery on his
Right.
shoulder.
So you're thinking
or elbow,
we were thinking at least short-term deal for not as much money.
Sure, no,
for
that makes
next
sense
contract.
from the next
Well,
franchise. That's
Not
gonna
much money, but like 350 million.
Well, compared to what he was about
yeah,
to make.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because he's still not gonna be able to come back. Like when he has a elbow surgery, he's still not gonna be able to fully come back.
Yeah,
and
that's
hit
what
for a
I'm
while.
saying though, is like it all depends on how. Okay, so they said the part that's affected is not a part that affected is because he's had elbow surgery before.
Tommy
but
John already.
yeah, so I mean,
This is the second
this
time.
is a cleanup, yeah, and so does he even still pitch? Do you pay him just?
He
to
said
hit?
he's still pitching. So, but I said maybe
Fuck,
I
man.
said maybe be a closer.
Yeah,
He
maybe
throws- He
he
throws
nothing,
He
dude.
throws upper
I mean,
90s, low hundreds.
A
and he has
reliever,
a 6
just,
slider.
you can't be throwing fucking 90 pitches a game anymore and hitting. Like, show it's dope. Goddamn, it was one of the most impressive things to see in a professional atmosphere. But like,
I think being a closer would be sick.
I think if okay, so if to fetch a contract to pay him, I would go short term because you have to find out if he's even healthy enough to provide for those first couple of years. Because normally when you throw out a contract, you throw out this insane number with the idea that you're really only going to keep him probably for 4, maybe 5 years kind of thing, and then you'll find a way to move on from the deal, right? Or if it goes great, keep him. But like you can't invest in that then in that capacity. I wouldn't think coming off of your second elbow.
I mean,
surgery.
a desperate team still might make an offer
Sure.
like that.
And if you show, go.
But
I'll-
then it's also going to be one of the teams he wants to go to. So
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
probably narrows
I
the
think it's
field
between-
quite a bit.
I think it's between staying in LA with the Angels, going to
You think
the
he
San
really
Francisco
will?
Giants, or going to the Seattle Mariners. I think those are the destinations. I don't think New York's got a shot. I think it's Seattle, San Francisco, or he stays with the
Speaking
Angels.
of, the Mariners got swept by the Dodgers this weekend. Not good for our AL West hopes. We're not going to go into full standings. I just wanted to touch on that. I'm bummed as a fandom.
Another little fandom that we're going to toss it at the end, or I am, before we go to break. Matt Olson hit
Matty-O.
52 home runs, breaks the Braves' all-time season 51 by Andrew Jones. Remember the great
Yep,
Andrew Jones?
yeah, absolutely.
He was so fucking fun to watch, dude, when he was healthy.
He was cranking.
But he got hurt a lot before, like kind of like Griffey stuff, like crashing
Sure.
the balls and
No,
stuff.
that was one of those talents that I don't think it did exactly what Griffey did, where you saw glimpses of greatness, but he never really got to achieve because injuries crept in with him too, because he was kind of a bigger body dude, and when he broke down hard. He fell, his star burnt out quick. But that
Yeah.
season he was whacking. He was like,
Want to shout out Matty-O at 52.
big
But
time.
we're going to take a break. We're going to pour another beer.
Yes,
and we're going
sir.
to come back with what happened today. Talk about what happened today, go through those games, and then we'll have probably another break, and then we'll talk about what's coming up.
And we're going to tell you about how we're 5-0 in this goddamn pod.
Fuck yeah, we got one big game on the line.
You might want to listen to them lines.
Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Oktoberfest. Getting ready for the
Prost.
season.
Prost.
That is good.
Fiest beer. Fiest beer. Basically, so a Marzen, right? So it's basically like, it's a Marzen ale. Yeah, which is like a very light, caramely. It's like almost an amber, but not as necessarily deep. It's between a lager and an amber.
I would agree with that.
The best way to describe that?
Yeah.
I would hella agree with that. I really like the way this tastes. I'm not a huge Oktoberfest fan. I'm not the pumpkin.
This one's a little bitter. No, there's no pumpkin to it.
Yeah, pumpkins are different. That's not October.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fest.
Yeah. But I really do love this Oktoberfest.
So this one's from Sierra Nevada, which
seasonal
we
pumpkin.
have
Sorry, seasonal
drinking plenty of times on this pod. It's a collab though with
Some German.
Kieher Wider Brewing.
The can looks like.
So they're out of Mill River, North Carolina. So this is quite a collab from California and North Carolina. I wonder how they hooked up. Drinks it 6-0.
I actually read about how they hooked up.
Yes. All right. We got some beer notes. Let's go.
More beer notes. They were studying in actually Germany when doing their whatever their intern brewery ship is, when you're just learning how to make beer pretty much.
Excellent.
In Germany.
Yeah. That's rad. So then they just kind of always remained friends then, I suppose. That's fucking neat. Right on. A network,
That's
right?
really cool.
Like, yeah. Love through hops. No, and what a callback though, to...
it does have a really nice color to it. Did you hold yours up with our light that's pointing to
This
that
is
right now?
very much like the definition of a straightforward, like, Oktoberfest German ale, for sure.
Looks great with the red lettering on my glass. Not so much in the camera, but really good in the light.
Really good in the light.
Chuck, why don't you start us off with Thursday night's game, which was actually a pretty good game there for a while. And Cousins, you can't say that Cousins fucked up on national. He played fucking
He
great.
did. He threw for 4 touchdowns. Are you going to let me read the analysis? I mean, you can go if you want.
Sorry, Chuck. It was my...
I understand. So the narrative with Kirk Cousins is that he's not brightest under the bright lights. He threw for 3+ and 4 tutties. They had a bunch of turnovers, but none were contributed to him, right?
Right.
They had that touchback out of the back of the end zone, which... Sidebar real quick. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's a rule that makes sense?
No, it's happened to me so many times. Carr fumbled it like twice or 3 times.
So would you change it to where they just, wherever they fumbled it, it's out there?
Yeah.
It's tough to be on the receiving end of that, but...
The rule to me kind of makes sense though.
I
hate it, but something's got to happen if you fumble out of your own, like the end zone you're going towards.
I think you get it back where you fumble it.
But it doesn't go out of bounds in the field of play. When out of bounds in the end zone, you get safeties for that. When it's the other team, like there has to be a penalty for that.
Don't fumble it in through the end zone.
Right, correct. Tyler Lockett went on a walk-off today, and I heard in his presser, he was like, dude, I was telling myself, don't reach, and I reached anyway, because this is so, and he's like, had it not worked, because he hit the pylon, and then he lost it immediately. Like, he hit the pylon, if it was like him trying to go over, it was a crazy play, but yeah, there has to be a rule there. I don't know if a touchback is the right...
I think that when you're stretching out like that and you like fumble it because you're reaching and it falls out of your hand, I don't know how you can implement it, but if a defensive player like hits it and it goes out, then I think the defense should get it. But I think if it's like a self fumble because you're trying to make an athletic play and you like fall, like whatever you're doing,
so it's not recovered by anybody. It just goes out of the end zone.
It's not like the defense hit
fumbled it at.
Right. It comes right where you fumbled it.
I don't know.
I don't know how you can implement it.
I think that might be a little too tight.
Right. I don't know how you can implement it, but I do think that
it's a tough rule, and it does happen more often than you think. Like there's 1 or 2 a season kind of thing, and those can change games. Obviously, it did because Minnesota ended up losing that game. That game was not as close as the final score really was. It was 34-27.
28.
28. Sorry, and
Where's the defense, Philly? I know Minnesota's doesn't have a very good defense, but what's Philly's excuse?
I don't know, man. Well, Justin Jefferson is a monster.
He's only one man.
He's only yeah, they held Alexander Madison in check. Kirk Cousins was dealing,
He's
dude.
been struggling.
Side note on the Madison shit. Hey, you fantasy fucks. Be fucking emailing these people and sending these people shit on Instagram.
Dumb.
That's racist and shit because they didn't get any points on fantasy football. You fucking
There's
you
your
feel
common
good about
sense.
your life.
There's your common sense. We're gonna interject that right here because God damn it, that is something that
It's just dumb. Dumb behavior.
that is awful. No, it's not right. It's not acceptable. That is
Very much unacceptable.
There are things that you need to be punished for that more than just having a slap on the wrist.
That
dude.
person
Like,
should be stoned.
I mean, I don't know about that. What I call biblical, dog. Martyred up. No.
Cut off his
But I'm
hands.
just saying. Okay, come on, bro. That is a common sense moment if I ever done heard one. Like, fantasy football is great and all. We all
love
three
it.
here
Play it.
love. Yes,
Love it.
absolutely. We're all in active leagues. Most of us play against each other at some point. So it's just no. Those are real human beings, bro. When you go to fucking work, it's not like somebody's betting on you. Shut the fuck. You already have enough goddamn pressure.
And if they weren't betting on you, they probably.
And then they gotta go to their emails and it's one thing if you're
a piece of shit of a human.
I love to heckle. I love to heckle. It's a great thing.
Shit talking's great.
Right.
Chuck's a heckler.
Big time. In the sports realm for sure. I'm a supporter outside of the sports realm, but in the sports realm, I'm a heckler to the fullest degree. But
Keep it competitive.
To that line of it's funny and it's playful and it can go back. You can throw it back my way. It's not derogatory. It's not demeaning. How dare you? How racial? Come on. We need to be so past this point.
Hey, we gotta turn it off if we're doing it in common sense.
No, that's it right there. That's happening.
Trev,
right
why
there.
don't you jump into the next game?
All right.
Which is the first game.
Yes.
So Eagles
this
2-0.
was the first game of the parlay that I picked. Baltimore got 3 points and won by 3 points.
One outright, yeah, absolutely. We didn't even need the spread.
I mean, everybody was projecting the Bengals to bounce back, and they look better, but
Joey
Joey's
doesn't look
his
good,
ankle's
dude.
still bothering him.
Yeah, he
not
aggravated
look
it. I
good.
saw.
Yeah, they said he re-aggravated it. The Bengals started 0-2 last season, though.
Yeah, but Burrow was healthy. This is a very, very different situation we're facing right here.
I still don't think if you're a Bengals fan you worry too much, though. Yeah, it's a slow start out of the gates, but you still have the players. T. Higgins bounced back. I'm sure a lot of fantasy owners are thrilled about him grabbing 2 touchdown passes. Baltimore is a good team, though. That's why they were my pick. I thought they could win this game. I knew their defensive backfield was beat up, but they're a good team, and it's a division game.
Well coached, resilient, tough.
All those things.
Yeah.
So that's why I went there, and hey, proved me right.
Good game.
It was a good game.
And that was 4-0. That was 4-0 right there.
Is there any more of that game you wanted to touch on?
Oh,
Gus Edwards looked pretty fucking good in release with J.K. Dobbins.
62 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. So yeah, I mean that was kind of to be expected. Still, I mean with the new offensive coordinator, wasn't sure what you'd get.
Sure.
But Baltimore loves to run.
How is Mark Andrews? How do you do today? He finally played today.
He had a good bounce back too. 5 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown.
There you go. Okay. Solid.
My game is I didn't pick this game. Next game in line is the Chiefs and the Jags. 17-9, tough fought game. Kind of what we thought. Both teams are a little bit more defensively, right? That was pretty good defense for 2 offenses.
Sure, man. Both teams under 20 points. I don't think the Chiefs look like the Chiefs of old right now. Granted, I know we're only 2 games into the season, but they look a little rough around the edges.
Still, I thought Jacksonville would be better.
I thought they'd put up a touchdown. I thought they'd get a touchdown.
Mahomes was 305 with two touchies and a pick.
What'd Kelsey do?
Pacheco had 70 yards. Kelsey had only 4 for 26. Skywar was 3 for 70. Watson was 3 for 62.
Tony had a bounce back game, didn't he?
He was 5 for 35. Dude, he hit like 100 receivers.
Spread it around.
100.
The Jags.
People were coming out of stands catching balls.
Trevor Lawrence was only 216.
That's
They
a
didn't
bit
really run the
disappointing.
ball really well.
Man, he missed on a couple of like inline throws that could have really changed the game. A couple of sidelines, a couple of back end zone throws that were within inches of each other. You know, that can make or break. You know, drives.
Christian Kirk was 11 for 110.
So he kind of bounced back after that
Yeah.
week one.
So I
performance.
mean, I think Jaguars gonna be good. I think we'll see what happens after this game. I had this as a loss anyway for this team.
I thought this game could have gone either way. What did Ridley do?
Nothing.
Only 2 for 32.
So he came back. All right.
The Chiefs got some good corners. Remember, they took McDuffie out of Washington 2 years ago. He's a second-year guy. So,
Yeah, that's why they got rid of Charvarius Ward.
Chuck, what game do you got?
We rolling into the Los Angeles Staleys and the Tennessee Vrabels.
Dude, we
We need to fire Brandon
We almost
Staley.
bet this game. Luckily, we didn't.
Oh my god.
I think we're all on that train.
Fire
Staley needs to
Staley.
go.
Chargers.
Promote Kellen Moore.
Chargers versus the Titans, dude. And this Charger offense can't be doing any more than they're trying to do right now. Herbert's playing at a very high level. He technically...
Eckler didn't play today.
Correct. That is the biggest news. And Joshua Kelly didn't really have the best game in relief. That run defense stepped up for Tennessee.
They had a
Derrick
good
Henry.
run defense, yeah.
Dude, they're stout up front, though. Justin Simmons.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Oh, yeah. No, their run defense is impeccable.
It's one of the better
Sure.
defenses.
So, I mean, Derrick Henry had himself a game with 80 yards on the ground and a tut. So,
Did his
That's-
thing.
that's how you control it. You know,
Yep.
Treylon went 3 for 76. He had a huge reception to break open.
Dude, I think he's going to be good. He's a big receiver.
He's got to figure it out. There's a couple of different things he's still got to do, but like I think he's got more than enough talent to get done what he needs to be successful in this league.
Well, he needs to too. With Hopkins, I think he's on the. I mean, with the missing the time that he has, having the injuries that he has, and at the age that he is, he's not the same guy. We thought he might be a really good receiver, but just with the Tennessee, I mean,
Tannehill just
quarterback
ain't it either, you guys. Like, when are we gonna find out what Levis got? I know they're technically they're 1-1, right? Because they lost to the Saints. But
Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be at the end of the year. if
I
they're
just
out of
don't.
it.
I mean,
think they're going to be
but
in it.
you've seen what Tannehill is. You see what he does. Like he doesn't.
But they've been competitive with him.
Yes, but they also didn't win a playoff game as the 1 seed with him. Like.
I mean, I agree. I think you should make that change sooner than later.
I just don't know how much you want to ride when you have that quarterback in the wings, because it's not like, you know, you drafted Levis with the idea that he was going to come in to push for the starting position, right? Like, I'm not saying Tannehill's played bad, but like, I don't know, man. I think
He played bad last week. This week was better.
sure. So you still just get one touchdown, Ryan Tannehill, maybe a pick. Sometimes he throws bad picks, but yeah, not an AFC game, not the cream of the crop.
What you got, T-Mud?
So the Packers and Falcons. This turned out to be a one-point game.
What a wild game, yeah.
Packers 24, Falcons 25.
I think this is even a win, not a win for the Packers in like the win column, but even this way Jordan Love played again without Christian Watson. Like, I think that the Packers got something going, man.
Well, I mean, Love did have 3 touchdowns, but he was 14 to 25 for 151, so not great.
Yeah.
The touchdowns look really nice, and if you had him in fantasy, I'm sure that made you cover.
Couldn't move the ball a whole lot though. Only 151 yards.
Jones
Jones
was
was
out. Dylan wasn't so great. He averaged 3.7 yards a carry. So that didn't.
I mean,
work out so
that's
well.
not the worst stat line I've ever heard, but it's also not like woo.
Yeah, Jaden Reed led the team with 2 touchdowns.
Welcome to that. Yeah, no, that was quite a shock. I thought Romeo Dubs is going to step up and give you catching touchdowns, or Musgrave maybe, something like that.
Bijan had a game, didn't he?
Yes, I was about to say on the Falcons side, 19 carries, 124 yards. He didn't get that touchdown on the ground or in the air, but he did also get 4 receptions for another 48. So a lot
So
of
yardage everywhere.
He was dominating the yard game.
Good for Bijan.
Drake London had 6 receptions for 67 and a touchdown, so it was them two pretty much on offense.
Big body.
The leaders for the offense for Atlanta.
Kyle Pitts remains to be a question mark.
Correct. Supposed to be a stud. Haven't really seen him.
4th overall.
Kyle,
pick.
where you at, buddy?
Where are you at?
Kyle, where you at?
I mean, that could be a team that's drafting another quarterback this next draft.
Well, yeah, Ritter has not. He's been good game manager.
He's been a game
Good.
manager at best.
Right. I mean,
Bottom
they're 2-0. They're 2-0.
Game I have is the Colts at the Texans. Anthony Richards started off hot, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Ends up only playing more than 1 quarter, a little bit more than a quarter, gets hurt. He's in concussion protocol.
Time for Gardner.
Minshew comes in 19 for 23, 173 and a tutty.
Nice.
Zach Moss had 18 for 88.
That's the exact reason why I thought they could still win that game, dude.
And Pittman still had 8 for 56. But, I mean, they won 31-20, but CJ had 30 for 47 for 384 and 2 touchdowns.
So he's looking better, but I'm kind of disappointed with that defense. They got high picks at cornerback. They brought in Ward from the Niners at safety. They have a couple pieces on that defense that I would think they would be a little bit better than giving up all these points to the
Dude, they got lit up.
Colts.
Lit up. Colts did play good. Chuck did want to bet that game, so good call, Chuck.
Yeah, I was down on the Colts, and I have been incorrect.
All right, Chuck, what game you got there, brother? I think this is kind of a
boo-boo
crazy.
game. This is a boo-boo game. I don't think it's gonna matter. 2-0 Tampa Bay was to 2-0, winning 27-17 over Chicago. Justin Fields has looked bad. Bad. Like, not even his legs have been helping him this year so far. Like, he has been struggling from the pocket. Every throw I've watched him make has not been
It's not
very
looked good.
No, it is getting. It sucks the knee-jerk reaction because he is a hell of an athlete and he can throw distance-wise just fine, but he's got no finesse.
Yes.
And in this league, you have to be able to make all the throws, not just these crazy bombs or the smoke screens. You got to be able to make the outs and the seams and all that kind of shit, the hitches. So, I mean, really, the tail of the tape goes to Rashad White, man. And Mike Evans, actually. Let's
Mike
highlight
Evans is a baller, dude.
6 receptions, $171 and a tut.
We're a Mike Evans fan club.
Yeah, honestly, though, I do shout out for Mike Evans. That fool's had nothing but success in the NFL, and he doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
No, we're on the Mike Evans
Yeah,
fan
no,
club.
1,000 yards every year he's been in the league. Like, he's a homeboy ain't nothing to fuck with. Like, for sure. But Baker Mayfield had a good game, man. 26-34, 317, and only 1 tuck and no turnovers, dude.
Dude, would they
Clean ball. When you
run
can
the
do
football?
that,
Run the football, no turnovers, like defense actually is okay.
100%. I mean, it's a formula. It's a good formula. It's a tried and true
Yep.
one. You're not necessarily going to win the Super Bowl based off of that, but hell, man, if you're competitive every game, that feels fucking good. If you're within a score of every game, you know what I mean, win or lose, like that's what you aim for. You want to blow the team out, obviously. But no, Tampa Bay, I had 3-14 overall. I was real low on this team.
I was at least 6.
I was wrong on both these teams. I thought the Bears could have won last week and this week. I thought Justin Fields was going to be better.
Man, I've been so wrong.
You guys were so high, and I've been the only one that's kind of been.
I think I gave Chicago like 10 wins.
Oh, the win range?
No, not that
many.
many. Maybe 8. I think maybe 8.
But I was all over the map on Fields. When he came out, I'm like, no, he looks too much like a runner, not enough like a passer. And then after the last season, I was like, all right, I saw something. If he can
and then
progress
they got a new guy, DJ Moore and Chase Claypool.
They brought in those guys, and you're thinking,
Chase
okay.
Cole Kmet is actually a fairly
Chase
decent
Claypool
fucking-
is a wash.
Yeah,
he's kind of
done.
He's not. Where there's reports about
He
him
just
not
kind of
working
gives
hard.
up. You watch him out in the middle of the field. As soon as he thinks the play is over, he stops in the middle of the field. While
happened
shit's going
multiple
on around
times.
him. Yeah, it's just like, dude, your role is not done. It's not over.
Yeah, that guy doesn't seem to
Not
have
a
it.
fan.
I don't think he's gonna be in the league.
So we're not on the Chase Claypool bandwagon. We're
We
off.
We watched that one go by.
We just hope it has more than 3 wheels.
Yeah, and I mean, the Bears' schedule isn't that easy either. Like, if it goes real bad, they could be another team that's looking for another quarterback.
And another coach.
Yeah, that too.
Dude, Eberflus has not done it diddly do.
You expect the defense to be better with him.
That was, I know you draft a young QB and then bring in a defensive-minded head coach. It's a different strategy that is not working currently in Chicago.
I got the Jets and Cowboys. Cowboys look fucking really good, boys. 30
I don't
to
like
10.
that. I'm not a fan of those words coming out of your mouth.
Here's some stats.
Let's go.
12 for 27, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Who do you think that was?
I would guess Zach Wilson. That sounds like some Zach Wilson numbers right there.
Dude, you gotta find somebody else.
Arm talent, but it just isn't there above the
He's
shoulders.
got good leg talent too. He's got no head. He's got nothing in between the ears that makes you believe that he can do it at a high level.
Listen to these rushing yards.
Before you get to that, that was another guy. That's another miss by me. I was higher on him because I saw the arm talent. I'm like, oh
Really?
man.
No, man.
I thought he could do it, and then after he got his chance last season, and it was obvious that it wasn't there above the shoulders, I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, just
Big
any
miss.
guy that shoots up the draft boards like that out of literally nowhere, like there was no hype on him until literally the end of the season, and then all of a sudden it was like, this Zach Wilson kid's gonna fucking get drafted top 5. It's like,
Well,
wait, what?
I don't think Richardson was a whole lot different. It's just that athletic skill that you can see, and then
I guess, but I would put Richardson in a completely different category.
yes, they're
than,
completely different quarterbacks, but I'm just saying it's a physical trait that
the
could
star
be
power.
that is in the NFL that could be great in the NFL.
No, I get the argument. That's a.
I'm sorry, but
Did you have to finish first this time for your?
Well, no, I was eating these hot tamales in my mouth.
Yeah, we should also change this to a candy podcast.
Listen to these rushing stats. Brees Hall, 4 rushes, 9 yards. Michael Carter, 2 rushes, 8 yards. Cook, 4 rushes, 7 yards. Zach Wilson, 5 rushes, 36 yards. They couldn't even do nothing. Dude, the Cowboys are fucking for real. Their stats, Dak, 255, 2 tutties, but he's 31 for 38. Pollard goes for 72 yards. Deuce looked good catching the ball. CD goes for a $143. Dude, they're good. They're a good fucking team.
I also think they played a bad team today.
They did, but they're good.
The Jets mojo.
They played 2 bad teams and they've handled them. You got to handle the bad
it
ones.
wasn't just like they got the win. They
Sure, no, they
destroyed
asserted
teams,
dominance in
and you should against
2
these
out of
bad
2
teams.
games. No, yeah, it's true.
And this is where I think I'm actually starting to win there because I'm like I see a matchup in the future with them in the playoffs. I think they're Dallas is back.
I think Dallas ain't gonna make it past.
Yeah.
Chuck, you got probably the first upset of the week that we probably didn't really see coming.
Dude, no, I called. Oh, they didn't cover though. Shit. I thought Washington was going to cover this game. They ended up winning at 35-33. The spread. Oh no, they did cover because the Broncos were given 3.5. This is another game I was high on that I wanted to pick. I played this in a parlay with my pops actually.
I almost made a secret bet with that on it.
I liked this card. Let's go into the stat lines here. Mr. Sam Howell was 27 for 39 for basically $299. That sucks, bro. You gotta find a way to get that extra yard, get that 300.
Yeah.
2 TDs though, no picks. So solid outing, Mr.
Good.
Howell.
Yeah,
He
for
was-
looking like not great last
he
week
was
at all.
getting he was getting pretty harassed. Like that Commanders line is not very good, or as we like to call them, the Washington football team.
And they just got Chase Young back, didn't they?
No, not their DN. No, not their offensive line.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah,
said
no, he was getting harassed. So Brian Robinson had himself a game with 18 for 887 and 2 tuts. That's a hell of a game. So, I mean, so shout out on the Denver side with Marvin Mims was 2 receptions, a
Yeah.
$113 and a tut.
Yeah.
$113 on 2?
Yeah.
Damn. Averaging 55, no big
That's
deal.
some broken plays right there.
Get off me, bro. Yeah, so, I mean, Russell had his best game he's probably had in a Denver uniform, going 18 for 32, 308, and 3 tuts. And also led the team in rushing with 6 carries for 56 yards. So, I mean, 35 to 33. Turned into quite the shootout. It was the Commanders were down by 21 at one point. It was 28 to 20 or to 7, and they came back to win this game. So, fucking impressive. I think. Do you have the Giants next, or no? Who do you have next?
The Giants.
Giants.
Where I lost.
Oh, we missed. I think I missed.
I think
the
we
Giants
skipped the
Cardinals.
Giants, but I can go back
I'll
to
take
the
the
Giants
Giants.
cards.
I'll take the
We
Giants
skip the
Cardinals.
Giants
You do
cards?
the Dolphins Pates. I'll do the Giants Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was another 21 point. That was huge. They
That
came
was
back.
me. I jumped them. I did the Jets Cowboys.
Okay.
All good. But if we're gonna do tonight's game, that was another winner on our parlay.
5-0.
Chuck called that one.
Let's go 5-0.
So you guys are each 2-0. So I'm the only one holding this thing up.
I mean, well, we won't find out how that hangs until tomorrow.
It's a pick'ems. We got in so early. It was a pick'ems. We got them at the point spread was -1 for
-1
Cleveland.
for
They just
Cleveland.
gotta win. Cleveland's just gotta win. Like, and with the way the Steelers looked against the Niners opening day, they looked scared. Now, granted, they were playing a tip-top defense. Trent Williams came out and said, "Man, I wish Pittsburgh would have gotten a first down because I was so tired of being out there the whole goddamn game."
I mean, yeah, but it is just week 1.
Week 1.
I mean, you expect some teams to look different in week 2.
Sure.
What do you got, bud?
But let's get into this Miami Patriot game.
Whoop. Fuck yeah.
So the score was 24-17. Miami finished it off. Mostert's former Niner, 18 carries, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had a big game.
Really good game.
Great game.
I mean, Matt Jones has looked better,
John.
but he did throw 1 pick. Chuba also threw a pick, though. They were both pretty close as far as numbers go.
Matt Jones's pick was bad.
Yeah, the one that he threw to Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
That was a very bad play.
Did you see Tua's at all? I saw it work.
Yeah, he threw it to Christian. He threw it way underneath.
Yeah. It was a well underthrown ball to Tyreek Hill that Christian Gonzalez just went up and snagged because he's like, I'm way taller than you. Even though Tyreek Hill, dude, he jumped. Like, he was at the same level as Christian Gonzalez, and Gonzalez is like a solid 6 inches taller than he is, dude. It was crazy. Like, his bounce is unreal. But yeah, he picked it clean. Like, it was a bad throw by Tua. Well short.
As far as some other numbers go, Jalen Waddle led in reception yards, 86. Tyreek Hill still got a touchdown, though, for the Dolphins. Patriots, let's see. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson got a touchdown, 50 yards. Not a very good average, 3.3.
It's because they gave Zeke like 1 or 2 touches. He's not part of the game plan.
Yeah.
It's Stevenson's touching it or nobody is. In that
Pretty
backfield
much.
right now. Yeah.
Patriots have no weapons for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
Scary weapons though. Where's that Tyquan Thornton kid? Did he even do anything this game? Is he even alive?
No, he did not record
anything.
a catch.
He did fantastic.
He was injured last week, so maybe he's
okay,
still
so
coming
maybe
back.
he didn't even play. Okay.
Maybe he didn't. Their leaders for receptions, though, Devontae Parker and Hunter Henry both had 6 for over 50 yards. Henry did have a touchdown. So, I mean, the Pats are looking better, but still wasn't enough for the Dolphin game.
No, dude, and 5-0 pod. Let's go. You guys have drank all your beer, but well, you didn't. We're gonna cheers to that. I love you.
This guy finished it.
Yeah, and also it makes sense you can't choose yet because you still gotta win your game. Let's go, Brownies! Come on, man. I'll tell you what. You root for motherfuckers when there's money on the line.
Chugga. Chub! Let's go.
Okay, last game before
Hey
we
Watson, have a welcome back to the NFL game.
please.
Just do it. Sling a ding. You know.
Maybe not the right words for him. Sling it.
And, you know.
Probably one of the lesser watched games in the NFL unless you're a fan.
Not even there with Buffalo.
The
probably.
Giants 31, the Cardinals 28. At one point, at halftime, the Cardinals were up 20-0.
Yeah.
The Giants scored 14 in the third and 17 in the fourth. Danny Dimes had 321, 2 tutties and a interception. Barkley was 1763 in a tutty. And my boy Jalen Hyatt had 2 receptions, 89 yards. Waller had 76 yards. But, I mean, the Cardinals up 20-0, just give it away. It's kind of what we expect out of that team. I mean,
They were like, shit, dude, we're in front by too much. This doesn't actually help.
I mean,
Stop doing good.
man, I'm worrying if I'm a Giants fan. You struggled that much against the Cardinals after that Week 1 performance against the Cowboys. Like,
yep.
this
Yeah,
looks
even
like
this
this
win
season
is
done.
Even this win is not exciting
You-
because
you don't look like a playoff team at all.
No, you're struggling big time. All right, Chuck, start off for team-wise.
all right. So
get
this
into
was an extremely exciting game, you guys. Seattle ended up winning in overtime, 37-31. Yeah, there was a lot of offensive fireworks in the last couple of quarters. Great stat lines from both quarterbacks, actually. 32 for 41 for 328 and 2 tutties is my boy Geno. And then Jared Goff also went 28 for 35, 323 and 3 touches, but also a pick. And that was a pick 6.
Oh,
Yeah, Trey Brown, and that put us up by 10 in the fourth quarter. They actually ended up getting, obviously, those 10 points back for it to go into overtime. It was stressful, but then walk-off by Tyler Lockett, I was explaining that earlier, where it was just a little wheel route at the goal line, and he reached out and he touched that inner pylon, and it was great because thank God he did. As soon as he did, it like shook out of his hand, and I was like, oh fuck.
That's close.
Yeah, but it was electric, man. And as a Seahawk fan, and as somebody who's watched this team and hopes for the best outcome, you need that, man. That was a team win, dude. On the road against the team that just beat the defending champs on their banner night. Like there was, backup tackles. That was the story of the game. We didn't give up one. I think we gave up 1 sack. One weird ass sack.
That was my thought coming into this
Oh,
game.
I was terrified.
Hutchinson's
I was
just going to
terrified.
wreak
Yeah.
havoc.
Mhm.
I was like, man, Seattle's going to lose this game. Hutchinson is just going to mess that up.
I was worried about that exact.
especially the way the Lions play at home.
And they've done a good job of putting together a pretty good secondary as well. So like, if Geno's off his spot, like he was throwing very well. He only threw a couple of really not great balls. You're gonna have 1 or 2 of those. None of them were in danger of getting picked.
Better than Week 1.
Oh my God! You didn't have Aaron Donald coming at you, bro. Like that's
Still, Hutchinson's pretty good.
agreed. No, but I was very actually surprised that he didn't even touch Geno. He got close to him a couple of times, and there were probably some holding calls that could have been called both ways, as there always are, whatever. But like Kenny Walker, he's got such sweet feet, man. That guy can bounce all around the field, cutbacks and fucking jump bounces and all sorts of shit. Like he had himself a good game.
Is Charbonnet getting involved?
He finally got some touches. I was screaming about that. He ran hard. He ran real hard. Same stuff you saw in the preseason. Like I think he got 6 touches. Now I think he got like 20 some odd yards. So nothing to really write home about. But because Kenny got the 2 touchdowns on the ground. Lockett played a great game, and DK had a touchdown as well. So we spread the ball around a little bit there. Disley had a great game. Parkinson had a good game. He hit 9 different receivers today.
What about Njigba?
My boy Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, looked better.
Yes, he was much more. Yes, yeah. His routes that were the smoke screens and the motions and like he's not necessarily. We haven't utilized him in the downfield game. He's been all more, within 3 to 5 yards of the line of scrimmage kind of thing. Try to get him in space and make him work from there kind of thing. And he looked much smoother and in tune and with timing, and which is crazy because he was on the road. And it was loud as shit in Ford Field today, man. It was a crazy atmosphere, yeah. And we went out and got a dub. That's a big. We get to hang our hat on that one, y'all.
That's a good win.
That is a very large
OT win
for a team that was coming off of an absolute ass whooping from a team that we were favored to beat, right? Like, we were talking about you got to beat the ones that you're supposed to beat. And the Rams, you're going to obviously touch on the Niners.
Played
Rams
hard.
next. They did, dude. They really, and I'll turn the floor over to you, but before I do, and I'm sure I'll have some points, but man, Rams are not to be taken lightly. I don't think, at least not so far.
Yeah, yep. That was another miss of mine. I thought the Rams were more in a rebuild mode with a lot of the young guys that they have. They have a lot of young players on that team.
Puka Nacua, though, is just absolutely changing the dynamic of that offense, dude. Even with Cooper Kupp. Wait until Cooper Kupp comes back.
Yeah, when he comes back.
Holy shit.
Well, with Stafford looks good. I mean,
Stafford
not so good today with the Niner defense.
Zach has been a Stafford stand for years.
He looks really
Yes.
good.
No, I like Stafford too. He was great with the Lions. I thought he didn't get enough
grit,
credit
man.
because
He's a gunslinger. He's an
some of
old
those
school
seasons.
gunslinger, man. You know, you gotta have a short-term memory. You know, is what they say. He's play-by-play. He'll throw a pick and go right back out there and be like, "Let's throw a bomb, coach." Like, you know.
But yeah, let's get into it. Niners 30, Rams 23. I didn't catch the whole game. I was working, but first drive, I think it was a 75-yard drive for Purdy. Ended with a McCaffrey touchdown. McCaffrey was great. McCaffrey's been great both weeks. I mean, he's putting up some good numbers.
He just feels different, doesn't he? When he gets the ball, you're just like, he's gonna do something good. He's gonna break a tackle. He's gonna jump over you. He's always got something. He's
Every
gonna
time
spin
I
around
touch the
you.
ball, it's like positive yards.
You just go like, oh, what the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah, average 5.8 a carry with 116
That's
on 20
nice.
carries and a touchdown.
Stud.
Also had 3 receptions for another 19 yards. Like, he was the guy on offense for sure. Purdy had a solid game, which is exactly what I want. I'm very pleased with how Purdy's played these first 2 weeks. I was thinking it could be a slower start, but I've been really happy with how it's turned out. And then on defense, Lenore and Oliver had interceptions. Otherwise, Stafford looked pretty good that game. And Warner had a game. Warner had 11 tackles, a sack, a pass deflection, and a quarterback hit.
Damn.
So he was
Effed up.
playing hard. He's playing hard. For the Rams, let's touch on a little bit of that. Like, Kyron Williams is kind of taking over that running back spot.
Yeah, Cam Akers on the outs again with that
He
team.
was a healthy scratch.
He's on the outs again with that team.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think it's an attitude thing. I think it's also
Work
not being a
ethic.
good pass blocker for the team, and that team is heavier on the pass.
That's so man.
He's on the outs.
He is.
I mean, we already touched on Puka Nacua. 15 receptions, 147 yards.
Damn.
Changed rookie records, dude. First person to ever start his career with his first 2 games with 100+ yards and a touchdown. at
Yeah,
least. We're
wow.
watching history.
Wow.
We're watching it happen, dude. Undrafted out of BYU, bro. Like, I hate that you're on the Rams, but it's a great fucking story.
Tutu
Like,
Atwell had another good game, 7 receptions for 77.
3rd round pick from last year, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
The year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just to touch on, bring it back to Kyron Williams, 14 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Not great on the ground, but he also contributes in the air. 6 receptions for another 48 yards and another
Absolutely.
touchdown.
Boom.
So 100 yards, 2 tutties.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good performance.
Good stuff.
I will touch on half of the.
So that
games
means the NFC West is all 1-1 besides
First place, baby.
That's true because the
besides the
tiebreakers.
Rams.
This is no besides the Cards.
Yeah, Cards. Yeah.
0-2.
So I'll touch on the Bills and Raiders.
Real quick.
Slightly. Josh Allen went 31 for 37 with 3 tutties, 274. James Cook had 17 for about 23. Gabe Davis led with 92 yards. Diggs had 66. Rookie Kincaid had 43, and Cook had another 36.
I mean, given the Bills' run game made them look a lot better.
Dude, that's the thing. That's the only
That's what they've
thing
been
they've been
missing.
lacking. That's the only thing they've been lacking. And in the red zone, that's why Allen's been getting pounded on. Like,
But
This-
wow, okay, so
This really
as a-
helps him after last
As a
year.
Raider fan, you knew this was pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, there was
gonna
2
be-
sacks.
You were hoping that you were gonna be
Yeah,
closer to
you
20
had it closer,
points.
but-
It was expected that
They
they were
expected
going to
it.
bounce back.
That's a hell of a travel from Vegas to fucking East Orchard.
I think it was expected. So we're going to take a break, come back with what happens next week, give you our picks of what we are probably going to parlay again. We'll see you after our break.
Three beer pod.
3 bet.
Welcome back. Cheers, boys.
Welcome back.
Oh,
Lemony.
God, that is refreshing.
Oh yeah. So we're revisiting a beer that we've had on the pod, some Cali Squeeze. I am doing the blood orange edition, and these gentlemen are doing the lemon. So obviously a difference in taste here. I kind of like mine because it's mellowed on, like, it does blood orange for sure, but like that one's tart because of the
Yep.
lemon. So I'm a little bit more mellow over here with the blood orange, but it does show through all of the flavors that they've made. You get all of those
Yes,
citrus effects.
they're good beers. The Cali Squeezes, the 3, the blood orange, tangerine, and the lemon are really good.
And
So
I think that's important too, because with a lot of beers that do like flavor profiles, it could be either overwhelming or underwhelming.
Correct.
I almost
hit
find
it.
them more underwhelming traditionally. It bothers the crap out of me when I read a label and it's like hints of this, notes of that, this and this and this and that, and it's
Or you
like
taste,
like
one or two of those
none.
things.
Yeah, you're like, well, it's a beer, cool, like it's good, but like these under notes and blah blah blah. It's like, let a beer open up though.
All right, let's get into week 3 though.
Week 3,
Start
man.
off, Money, since you got the Thursday nighter.
Yeah. Niners, Thursday night against the Giants. Niners are a 10-point favorite, and this is a game I am considering. I mean, the Giants have been poo-poo, and the Niners have been as advertised.
They have, dude. The Giants, even though they stole one today, they have not been good.
One they shouldn't have had to have stole in.
Right, correct. No, I would
In
support.
Levi Stadium, like, I just feel like this is an easy roll for the Niners. How much they win by is the question.
Oh, well, at least 10.
That's the spread. So, how good we feel? And I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable.
I don't think it's an unreasonable one either. 10 plus is always make me nervous, but I think we're about to talk about 2 or 3 teams here that have a real shot to take care of these 10
These
plus.
spreads are already crazy. So, like, the initial spreads that we're looking at now for week 3, because obviously week 2 hasn't closed just yet because there's 2 Monday night games tomorrow. But the week 3 preliminary spreads are crazy, y'all. They average around like 6. There's some in the 4-5s. There's some in the
12s.
There's a couple of 12 and a halfers. There's 2 12 and a halfers in week 3. That's crazy, isn't it? Do you not find that crazy? I find that just a little bit crazy.
I know.
This early in the season.
I mean, yeah, it is a bit crazy. I try to stay away from the double-digit spreads.
It's
But-
so unpredictable in that sense. dude.
I feel like the bettors are really playing off of.
Those lines will move though, right? As the
Yeah.
money comes in, as the public bets one way or the other, like.
I think that's what they're playing off of right now, though. Is everybody's high on this certain team,
Sure,
low on the other
sure,
teams. It's still
yeah.
early in the season, so you're gonna get some surprises.
The Cowboys and the Cowboys and the Niners are passing the eye test. They very
Yes.
much are. And honestly, the Rams look like they can pass the eye test. Like, there's the Chiefs, I think, don't pass the eye test. Nor do the Bengals right now. Like, there's some weird things going on. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, I love the NFL.
So, 10 o'clock, one of the first 10 o'clock games on Sunday. 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern.
Goddamn, love that team.
Colts, Ravens. Ravens are giving 8 points to the Colts. Remember, Minshew might be the starter for this game with Richardson being out in concussion protocol. So it's another big game. I mean, that's a big ass spread. 8 points.
And what do you think? What do you think?
I think I don't know. I think the Colts
I think the
can cover.
Colts. I think the Colts can cover that.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens won by 14 either.
Sure.
I mean, we're both high on the Ravens.
Agreed. For some reason, I'm sneaky high on the Colts too, and I don't know
They
why.
played better than I expected.
I just that offensive line's had a little bit of a bounce back. The question, I do believe in Minshew. I don't think he's been given a fair shot in the NFL. Everywhere he's gone, that he's had a replaceable or a starting role. He's averaged more touchdowns than interceptions, won more than he's lost, thrown for more yards. Like, he's a good player. Like, it's really kind of surprising to me that he's been a permanent backup like his entire career.
I mean, I think if he was drafted to the Niners, he would have been a starter for years already.
Hey, shit, man. Trey Lance, worst draft day trade of all time.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so let's jump into the next game. Chuck, you got Titans Brownies.
Titans and Brownies, dude. Okay, so we're in Cleveland, and Cleveland's given 4.5.
Which might, don't you think
That's
that line
one of
could
the
change?
closer spreads. Yeah, it depends on how Cleveland still has to play this Monday nighter.
How they
And
look.
they were relatively convincing in that messy game against Cleveland week 1. Yeah, they only gave up 3 points.
Still
Or not
want to
Cleveland,
see a lot
Cincinnati,
more
I'm
from
sorry.
the last
Yeah.
Agreed. So I mean, really, that line could move very
And
quickly.
Titans got a sneaky win today.
They sure did. No, But we just talked about it earlier. Tannehill's kind of Tannehill.
But
Like,
the Titans have been that team in the South, the AFC at least, that's just been the most consistent for
Correct.
the last.
they're battle
Vrabel's-
proven in a lot of ways, I
Vrabel's
suppose.
getting
They've
them off
faced a
point.
lot of different adversity.
Good
for sure.
coach for sure.
Oh yeah, Vrabel is a former player for sure. I don't know, that one I would lean on Cleveland covering that right now. I just don't believe in Tennessee being able to score a whole lot of points with Tannehill. I know Derrick Henry can pop. You gotta control that. Like,
I'm interested to see how that line moves with the game tomorrow.
okay,
Correct.
Sure.
If Cleveland comes out and just fucking kind of
Oh,
like
stomps the Steelers, then yeah, they're gonna go into that game with probably a higher point spread. It'll probably lean more.
And, I mean, we got to think we're thinking that because they're on our parlay.
Hey,
So we try to get in
we
early
try to
on.
do that
or-
6-0 life.
Hey,
We
I
try to
don't
do
know.
that 6-0 life. Come on now, Cleveland, don't brown it out, all right? Fucking
Yeah.
figure it out and get it done for the pod.
'Cause
Be
you
better.
could, yeah, you could take them both weeks. I mean, that is.
Come on.
What's the next one, Trev?
Give me a second. My screen fell off. All right, we got the Broncos Dolphins.
Dude, there's no line on that game.
Not yet. Yes. I mean, the Dolphins just played.
What number makes you not? What number do you stop at when the Dolphins? It says minus something next to the Dolphins. What's the
Probably
number where you're
over a touchdown. I'd say 7.5.
7.5 is where
7, I would
yeah.
still probably lean Miami. 7.5, I'm like, I don't know. It starts getting a little questionable. Denver looked better, but the Dolphins are a good team.
And they got to go into Miami.
Fast.
And
They
as
are
long
so
as
fast.
Tua is healthy, I want to put money on that.
Well, he's
team.
only got 2 more weeks, so these are called running themes. Okay, Zack has been adamant that Tua ain't gonna make it past week 4. Actually, not.
He hasn't really been hit.
I was
that
gonna
much.
say that's where I was about to go. Is like I don't remember him being put down aggressively over the first 2 weeks. So
Yeah, so far
that's-
so good.
that is excellent if you are just in football in general, just for Miami fans. Like,
Well,
I
mean,
want to
yeah,
see,
not
I want to
just-
see full season Tua. I want to see what that team can do
Agreed.
as they grow together. Like, I think they could be lethal, and that kind of scares me, but it's also kind of cool.
Yeah, like those offensive weapons, like the coach.
Waddle and Hill, yeah, dude.
So the game I got is Patriots Jets. Another game with no line for some reason. Patriots at Jets. I'm not really sure what to make of the Jets without having a quarterback. The
I
defense
think
is
the Pats should
stingy.
win this game, right?
I don't. Yeah, but it's.
Even in New York.
I think their defenses are comparable,
And I
and the
think
Pats'
Zach
offense
Wilson's-
is better with
yeah,
Zach Wilson at quarterback.
is bad for New York. He's
Is there a number there where you sway one way?
I really don't. I really want to stay away from that game in general.
Just
I understand it's division as well. Like,
yeah,
division games are
could
so,
get a little choppy.
Yeah, it's one turnover away from swinging this way or that way. Like, it's
A bounce
it
ball.
That's
seems
probably a little high.
you play each other twice a year. There's less surprises. the more familiarity there is, like, the more typical the game traditionally goes. Now, don't get me wrong, things happen on any given Sunday, right? Like that's why you play the game. But like percentages, the mean, the average typically lean towards, division games being tight, drag them out 17-14, 21-24.
Yeah, the hot team always will be favorited, but in the division game, it's usually closer, so you can usually bank on those points a lot of the time, I feel like.
Sure.
We're going to move on to the next. You got anything else on that?
No, Patriots, Jets, not much really to talk about.
I think the Pats are okay. So I would give the Pats, if they were
I'd give them
like
3.
4.5, only 3.
Yeah, because I think the Jets
they win
defense
by
is
a
still
ton,
really good.
But
Jets
I wouldn't
do
give
have
them like
defense.
7. I'd give them like 4.5, maybe 5.5, maybe.
All right, so the next game, what's the next game there, Charles? It's an interesting one.
The next game, oh shit, I'm sorry. I thought you were pulling it up.
I had the Patriots and Jets.
Okay, it's okay. We're at Bills and the Commanders.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Bills
Interesting.
are our road favorite at -6.5. This one kind of intrigues me because I think the Commanders are playing above their pay grade, and at home, I think, who knows? Brian Robinson, if they can slow the game down and control Josh Allen a little bit, control Stephon Diggs, that's
But
like
Cook ran the
Emmanuel
ball
Forbes
good.
had his first pick this game.
I have a question.
He's
Raising my hand, I got a question. I
I
unfortunately did not watch as much football as I would have loved to today.
Okay.
How did Howell look? Did he look better than week 1?
Yes.
Did he
Yeah, oh yeah.
Much better.
Oh, he ran the game. He looked like a competent quarterback. You weren't like, oh my god, he's going to do the most outstanding thing, but he looked good in the pocket. He had good awareness, good movement. Like,
Because at first glance, I'm thinking, okay, the Bills are going to start rolling. But if he looks better, I think Washington could be. They can cover whatever that spread is.
if Chase Young can get after
6.5.
Josh Allen,
The Raiders had 2 sacks on Josh Allen today, so.
Yeah, that offensive line for the Bills is supposed to be better.
It doesn't really seem like it is.
I mean, the rushing wise,
Yeah,
let's see
Cook
if that
ran
continues.
the ball good
That'll be
today,
big
so-
if that can continue against
Cook ran the ball
Washington.
today,
dude,
so.
if yeah, absolutely. Because then you're going to get sacked less because you're going to throw the ball less. Like
Exactly.
Allen is a hell of a man, but he's got to stop getting hit as much as he does. Anthony Richardson's been in the league 2 games and he's been getting hit.
You've been hurt both
Stop
games.
it, bro. Like, get down. Save yourself.
I mean, rookie.
Oh my god, I know, and he's gonna end his career before
Just
the age of
yeah,
22.
just figure it out quick.
What you got, Trev?
All right, next. This is another game I'm considering putting money on.
Yes, this one I can see.
This is the Falcons and the Lions.
Falcons off to a surprising 2-0 start.
Yeah, they're a team that I thought couldn't make the playoffs, but I leaned Minnesota early, and I flipped after actually the first week
Running the
pretty
ball.
much.
Running the
Yeah.
ball hard, the Falcons.
Just with what I've seen, the Falcons are a more complete team. Ritter is still a bit of a question mark. He doesn't seem to be as good as I thought he could, but it's still early. We'll see if he gets better. But the rest of that team, I liked a lot of the pieces. And getting 4.5 against the Detroit team, I think they're, at least with their style, they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna put their defense is better. Like they can. I think that's a 3-point game. That's why I like the spread. Got anything for that one?
No, I kind of feel you there with that one, but again, I was expecting the Lions to play better against the Seahawks today at home, so
Yeah, I thought that was definitely like a pick 'em. I'm surprised the spread
that's my
was what
one
it was.
worry is that the Falcons are a young team going in on the road. This could be one of those games where all of a sudden the Lions are up big and it just
It depends on if the Falcons can sustain drives and keep Goff off the field.
I think
Montgomery might be hurt. He was out at the
Yeah, I think
end
he got-
of the
ooh, I didn't
Seahawks
see
games,
that.
and it was a lower. He
Yeah.
got carted off. It didn't
quad,
look
right,
very
or
good.
something, or he had something.
It's lower leg injury.
Yeah.
It'll be
Jameer
interesting to
Gibbs
see what Gibbs looks like with that.
fast is
workload.
what he looks like.
He
Holy
looks
shit,
fast.
Dan Campbell. Put him everywhere. I don't know why
we're
they're
gonna
not.
get to see it if Montgomery's out.
Yeah,
Maybe
for
he's
sure.
not
No,
picking up the offense.
he needs to touch the ball 30 times a game, dude. That guy is electric.
I still like Montgomery though.
Bruiser.
he's
He
a
was
bruiser.
running over people today.
I
We
like
could
that.
not tackle that kid. We could not, like, we'd make impact. He only had, I think, 1 or 2 runs where he got to the second line uncontested, but, like, he ran over dude after dude today.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Before he got hurt, he put up like 80 some odd yards and a touchdown. He was fucking wrecking shop. Like, it was. So yeah, no, I get that. But we got the dub. Let's go, Seahawks.
I think this next game, the line could change as well depending on what happens tomorrow night with the Saints and the Saints and Packers. Saints right now are getting 2 to go into Green Bay, but if the Saints roll tomorrow night, I can see that switching to maybe 2 the other way. Packers have looked good so far, but if Jones doesn't play either, man, I don't know.
Yeah, if he doesn't play, especially, I like the Saints there. I kind of like the Saints there.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's what I was
agreed.
thinking
No,
too.
that was the first one that really jumped out at me to where it's like, this one I could pull the trigger on. I'm so weary of these fucking 10.5, 12.5 point spreads. We're gonna get into some crazy spreads here soon, like, but
That one is.
it does,
though.
it will change depending on this Monday night and how this really comes out.
If the Saints come out and roll,
And they smack
and
Carolina.
this could turn into the
That
Saints.
could also change the Seahawk Carolina game as
Correct.
well if the Panthers get
Because that
smacked.
Seahawks Carolina game is another one we like.
Sidebar, like if we're
Sidebar.
gonna bet one of these teams for next week, I think we got to do it before the game tomorrow night. So just if
keep
you
the line.
want to do it, yeah, tell me before,
Yeah.
just so we get that better line.
I mean, I think we'll find out a lot more about the Saints. So it's hard to talk about the Saints Packer game when we've only seen one from the Saints. The
And
Packers
it
have
was a
looked,
struggle. They won, but it was a struggle bus game.
and the Packers have looked pretty good. I know they didn't get the win today, but they still looked all right.
Yeah.
With Jordan Love.
I
at
mean,
quarterback, so.
it was a
Gotta
1 point
stop the
game.
run. What did we say about that game though? That like
They
the
were gonna
Packers
run the football
cannot
down
stop
their
the
throat.
run. It's been their Achilles heel for the last fucking several years.
Exactly, and I think, I mean, obviously with Aaron Jones out in that running game,
And AJ Dillon was only iffy, right? Like
Yeah,
he was
great.
already kind of hurt himself.
well, that's what I think was the difference in that
Sure,
game.
yeah.
But moving on.
Next one's one of those big spreads that I kind of thought about looking at betting.
Well, it's because it's your boys. It's Jacksonville by 9.5 at home over Houston.
At home, see, that's one of those
Sure.
games you got your young quarterback coming in.
Oh, dude, this could be a monster game for Trevor Lawrence. Now, there's some decent pieces in that Houston secondary, but Houston has not played well overall
excuse
as a
me.
team just yet. Like, D'Amico Ryan still has to settle in. That roster's obviously not perfect. Like, CJ Stroud played very well today, though. If you're Houston, that's something to hang your hat on as like a pure pass. He went for over 300, and he had a couple of tutties.
But the
Like,
Colts put up 31 on
I mean, yeah, but as a quarterback, you don't play
No, yeah,
defense.
no, I'm not
like,
saying
you
against
do
CJ,
your
I'm just-
job, and you hope that your defense. No.
I'm
dude.
just saying against like
Which
the
is
Texans
crazy
in
because
general.
you think D'Amico would have a. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it's week 2, and like I said, he's trying to rebuild a roster. Like, he swung for the fences with that Will Anderson pick, and I haven't really heard much out of him yet. I don't know what he's doing just yet.
I don't know if he's up.
But I would lean towards Jacksonville as well if I were to bet this game. Houston has shown me nothing against a competitive team yet, so.
But it just makes you worry when you're like give up 31
And I think
against a Colts team that's kind of like quarterback.
right, and I think that after coming off of the Chiefs coming back home, this is prime time get right game. Like, Trevor Lawrence comes in, dials it up for 350,
Doug
3
Peterson, yeah.
touchdowns. Travis Etienne's everywhere, exactly.
Yeah, Josh Allen too. He was kind of a disappointment against the Chiefs. He
Man,
disappeared.
if you break down that kid's numbers over the last like 12 to 16 games, they've been only fairly mediocre, dude.
The
Like,
pass rusher, Josh Allen.
Yes, that's what
oh, I'm so
Jackson.
sorry. That makes sense. Talking about
Sorry,
that.
sorry.
Yeah, I reverted back to the Bills, but
No, yeah, but I was talking about, he kind of disappeared against the Chiefs. The week before, he was good.
It's all about
I would
60
expect
minutes,
him
baby.
to kind of show up again against the Texans, too.
it's all about 60 minutes.
Moving on to the next game.
Yeah.
Chargers, Vikings. This is pretty much
Oh,
pick
pick 'em.
'em. Yeah, Chargers are a point favorite at the moment. So minus points for the Chargers, but I mean, this is definitely a pick 'em game. I could see. The
I think
Vikings
Minnie's
winning.
gonna win it, dude. I have not 1 ounce of faith in Brandon Staley's and the Los Angeles Chargers right now.
I'm with you there again. I think Kellen Moore should be there.
That train is not moving forward, dude. It's just not. It looks like it should be aerodynamic and flying in every direction. It's just not working.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that they should have moved on from him and tried to get Peyton in the offseason.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, and now they're 0-2, and it could be 0-3. Like it doesn't look right. Make a change.
That's what I'm saying. There's no click. There's no cohesion.
Well,
It
that
just-
goal was hurt against this last game, so it depends if he plays too.
Sure.
Because if he doesn't play, then I mean, this team doesn't stay healthy for one on offense or defense.
On paper, the Chargers always look so good, though, and they've been a disappointment again and again. And he's part of the reason.
And again. And you moved out of San Diego for no reason.
I got the next game, Cowboys Cardinals, 12.5, dude. Cowboys going in Arizona 12.5.
Oh, week 3.
I almost want to spin that 12.5, though.
I mean,
Cowboys are hot.
Dude,
Against the shitty
dude,
teams, and they
damn
keep playing
mush,
shitty
damn
teams.
This could be 28 points. This could be 35 points.
It could be.
You think this is a college style
It could be like the week
It
one
could be like
against
the,
Giants.
this could be like the Bills and Raiders at 31-7 or whatever. I mean, it's not going to be a pretty game. They're going to pass rush. The Cowboys defense is going to roll Arizona up into a little ball and kick them around.
kick on.
And
that
that
offense
offense is
should
just
pop
going
it.
to dominate all the way down the field.
I agree.
I don't love 12.5. That's a lot, big number, but dude, come on.
Thinking about it.
You're speaking like you just said 28 was the number you threw out. You should be pretty confident about 12.5.
I like it at 12.5. This is like my. I mean, dude, the Cardinals aren't good. They look what they. I mean, they were up today on the Giants, but they
the
fucking.
Giants today.
They let the Giants have their way with them in the second half.
Let them off. They are who we thought they were.
And then the last game before Sunday night, Trev, why don't you do that one? Because then Chuck will do.
The money.
Chuck will do Cowboy or Panthers and Seahawks, and I'll do Raiders.
All right. Well, I'll take on the Bears and the Chiefs.
This
That's
is
another
fucking
12.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
It's because the Bears are coming
man.
into KC, though.
Right.
too.
Coming
And
in
the Bears
KC,
have
looking bad.
The
One,
Bears look
two.
so
I
bad.
know, Chuck. What was that?
Chiefs
The
haven't-
Bears have looked bad.
Chiefs haven't looked great. That's the only
They
The
have
only reason I hesitate on picking the
They've
Chiefs
only
on this
scored 21 and 17 points so far this season. They won today, but they won it with defense, not with offense for sure.
I mean, the way the Bears have looked, though, this is the game I can see Kelsey
getting out of hand quickly,
looking like Kelsey
cooking,
again,
just cooking.
and putting up like 3
They're
touchdowns
running fucking
himself.
end arounds. Kadarius Toney is everywhere. Like Sky Moore has these crazy catches or some shit. It just
At
screams.
home.
It just screams a blowout Kansas City kind of thing, doesn't it?
That's what I.
Yeah, at Arrowhead.
This is like Chicago is in a sad state right now, you guys. And I was much higher on this team than
I thought they'd be better.
I thought they were gonna finish at least third in the NFC North. I remember picking that.
I had them 4th, but I had them
I had 'em
more
third.
games
I had
than
'em
what
above
they look like they're
Minnesota.
gonna win.
Now, granted, Minnie's 0-2, but Minnie's clearly the better team. Kirk
They look
Cousins is
better.
a better quarterback.
They've been competitive.
Yes, exactly. So
That
eventually
defense needs to come around.
that will work itself out.
Charles, you got Seahawks, Panthers. So.
Oh my goodness gracious, dude! This is a mini NFC rivalry right here. Like, the Panthers aren't extremely relevant, but for some reason we always seem to find a way to play them, like all the time. So it's at home, and we're favored. We're giving 4.5. Like,
I like it.
I mean, I like that you like it because you want to play the Seahawks to cover that, right?
Young Bryce Young
that.
coming into fucking into Seattle.
Into the
Yeah,
12.
you know the
That's
12's going to give them some hard times.
Oh man, it's like, I think that we should be able to beat that roster. I don't disagree. I really hope our pass rush can get home against that. I would say below average offensive line. J.C. Horn, their top corner's out. He's on IR. He just got put on there a couple days ago.
Again,
so.
this is another one that can move depending on what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because exactly, if the Panthers get blown out by the Saints,
The Saints come up and roll them, dude. And
yeah,
be
they
like,
can move both of those lines pretty damn quick.
I mean,
That's why
we
you're saying
could still bet that.
there's still time.
Still time.
But I think that I appreciate that Zack, that take. I think that you're hopefully accurate. To be fair, I was not expecting to win today.
I wasn't.
It was a gutsy.
was.
It was a gutsy win, and I hope that
You thought they would, Trev?
that carries
No, I thought
over.
my team won.
I thought Chuck's team would lose too.
Yeah, no. If I'm being real, bro, I did not have
Yeah.
the tippiest, toppest of like, oh, dude, this is it. This is the week, the turnaround game, like, you know. But hey, if this could be culture defining for this year. This could really bring us together. I know it's only week 2, but like, with how good we already got spanked by the Rams, they look good, and the Niners look better than the Rams. You just beat them today. The top of the NFC West looks thick. So
Yes.
like, man,
With 2 seeds, baby.
So yeah, we got to keep up. We got to keep pace. Like we got to win the games we're supposed to. And beating rookie Bryce Young at home is a game we're
one of those
supposed to win.
games.
Absolutely. Gives Charbonnet more touches. He's a fucking bowling ball. Dude, he's built like Marshawn Lynch, bro. A little bit bigger than Marshawn is what he reminds me of. Like, he's not as agile. Like, Kenny Walker moves like Marshawn Lynch, and Zach Charbonnet looks like Marshawn Lynch. So like the two of them, they pieced apart. That's what happened. I miss you, Beast Mode. I miss you. Oh, Beast Mode.
Skills.
Dude, just about that action.
So
boss.
Sunday night's game is the Raiders. The Steelers versus
How'd you
the
get a
Raiders.
primetime game?
Steelers
What?
at Raiders.
Who did Mark Davis have to slip one to?
I mean,
for
it's
that,
early in
dude?
the season, so.
Oh.
I feel like this is the game that if we win this game, it looks pretty good. If we lose this game,
Hey, real quick sidebar. What the fuck's up with Chandler Jones? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what's up with Chandler
Been
Jones?
a weird story.
It's
Yeah.
just these Twitterverse, like Instagram
Yeah.
posts, like all this cryptic. I know some shit and I can't say some shit. Like really weird. Ha ha. I don't know, man.
yeah, like he couldn't like get into the training facility. Or
No,
something,
now he's saying he's
and
got
then-
some
yeah.
sort of big secret and he can't let it out. And
It's been weird.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
the
man.
Raiders sent people
Because he's not playing with y'all right now, is he?
Nope.
Like it would make, I don't think he could be talking all this shit.
Keep it weird, Vegas.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that we have a shot to win this game.
That's a pick'ems. So would you? I mean, you think it's pick'ems? So would you go Raiders?
I would hope so. Yeah.
I mean, Steelers have the better defense. Raiders, I would say, have the better offense. Who's going to win out?
correct.
We already talked about the Niners because of the Thursday night game. We got 2 on Monday night,
Two.
though.
Why are we doing this now, NFL? Can I ask? Can I ask?
I mean, I loved it when I had the time to watch them both.
But they they run like concurrently. It's technically prime time, but you still have to share time.
Yeah,
they're
they
an hour
do.
apart.
They put them too close together. An hour isn't enough. It should be at least 2. Like, I think that would be better if they spaced them out a little bit
Right.
better.
Just
The
a
first
reason.
game would be the Eagles and Bucks. Philly's a 6.5 point favorite.
I see. That one for that aggressive. For some reason, I'm riding with Philly on these spreads. I think that they can cover that. I think Tampa has gotten kind of lucky. They've played pretty damn good defense, but
I don't think that offense is going to keep up with Philly. I think Swift, if he can fucking replicate what he had,
really good
AJ Brown more involved.
Really
They still
good
have
game.
Devontae Smith. Like, I think that offense can still take a step forward. 6.5 doesn't sound outrageous.
It sounds great coming into the season, but the way the Bucks have played, it makes me hesitate.
Because they're scrappy, think they're going to slow the game down.
I think they could.
They could. They proved that against Mini.
And
They did that
Eagles
against
defense
Mini.
didn't look great Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles' defense hasn't looked great, but the Bucks, I don't know. It's still a question. I thought they would be worse, so maybe I'm still seeing them through that lens. I don't know.
The second Monday night game,
Rams and Bengals.
Rams and Bengals.
God.
The Rams been playing tough, but it's in Cincy. I don't know, man. It's hard to read the Bengals right now. They really haven't played great.
And I think the Rams take this
And I
game.
think the Rams
I
have
don't.
played really good.
So this is a game
Cincy's minus 6.5. We might have to take the Rams.
originally I liked those points with the Rams, but I think this line is skewed towards the recent events, and I could also see the Bengals finally get
out.
This is at home.
Putting
Another week for Burrow to get healthy.
And Rams are going kind of cross country. It's not like it's just
it's-
right around the corner.
Yeah, it's a travel game.
I don't know, man. I think I still like the Rams. I think Stafford's been playing well. I think that Kirsten Williams kid has been playing well. That Puka Nacua is stepping up. Aaron Donald's healthy.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any. T. Higgins had a good game. Mixon had an okay game. Burrow actually aggravated his calf this week, right?
Yeah,
So
so
we're-
aggravated. I think the Rams can go in and cover, but I don't know if they go in and win.
I
I
do.
damn well
lean-
take them to cover.
I do still think maybe that's a play though. I kind of lean Rams there too.
I've been a Burrow supporter, man.
I love
Until
it.
this year, I pretty much had him as my QB in fantasy.
He's still my QB too in the league. Fantasy, it's got to be rough for those first 2 weeks. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and I don't know, man. I'm not feeling the same juice. Like even when they started out 0-2 last year, I still had this like, yeah, they'll be all right. I don't know,
I still
man.
feel that way.
Okay. I don't have that feeling this year. I think that the bottom's going to fall out, and I think that the Rams could win this game. I'm not undercutting the Rams anymore, man. I saw enough in this loss. I was curious to see what was going to happen there, right? Like,
Yeah, I think the Rams are good.
I hate to say it, dude. I hate to say it. Like, Stafford is healthy enough to make that team competitive enough.
Yes.
Like, I take the Rams to cover that, even on the road.
I agree.
That's our week 3.
Dude, all right, yeah, so we're just...
Flicked my pencil, sorry.
Watch out for that pencil.
Bam.
So we're going to let you guys know what happens on this Monday night or tomorrow night to see if we can go 6 for 6 and hit our second parlay in a row.
Fuck it, eh?
Then let
Let's
it ride,
go.
and we're just going to put all the winnings right back now. Just going to bet the next thing that comes with horse races.
So far, so good though.
So, you guys, come on, we're 5-0 right now.
5-0, we'll hopefully hit
five
the-
out of 5.
Hit the Monday night game. We got the Browns tomorrow
I know
night.
in a pick'ems all by one. They just gotta win. They
keep
just
it
gotta win.
undefeated.
The Browns just gotta win.
And that was my pick, so hopefully that pulls through. We'll
All
see you after the break with Common Sense and Fandom. Welcome back to the Balls&Brews. Shake, boys.
Jesus Christ, welcome back. Let's finish this off. Whoop whoop.
Pretty tasty brewski, though.
Alright, so we're gonna lead right into the fandom, and we've decided amongst our third beverage.
No, we're going to talk about Urias.
Oh, goodness gracious, you're right. No, we have another common sense we'd like to touch on real quick. We're gonna pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Julio Urias for the LA Dodgers has been officially removed from the locker room. His murals have been covered up. He has been distanced from the franchise now for convicted of domestic battery and violence.
Federal, like federally, right? Is it federal?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a felony. So.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, federal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this isn't his first time either. This is the second time that he's been suspended for domestic battery.
Yeah, not good. I mean, the only good thing that I can pull from this is that he plays for the Dodgers, and I don't like the Dodgers. So
Damn, Trev.
I mean, that is I wish they were bringing the wheelbarrow tonight. We decided that our fandom is a hate them.
I'm wheeling it out early.
I just think that, man, I'm so sad of hearing about you. Okay.
The MLB's done a good job with it. Look
I
at
know
Trevor
that this
Bauer.
kind of shit happens all the time, I guess, across, like, everywhere, really. But, like, when you hear about it from celebrities or, like, people who be making hell of money and then you're in the public eye and, like, I'm not saying any of it's ever excusable down to, you know, even the people who are just living regular lives. You know, you shouldn't be beating on each other. But
Yeah,
like,
shouldn't happen anywhere.
Right.
I kind of feel that the ego plays into it, though.
you don't know who you're fucking with kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
I can get away with this and I can get away with that.
People are so high on what they've become.
But it doesn't matter
as far as
though,
their
because in
athletic
today's
accomplishments.
society, everybody has a camera, and
Yeah.
you can create a motive. Like you can pin things on people so much easier now than you ever could.
Well, I think the MLB's done a good job with the way they've handled domestic with Trevor Bauer. He was suspended all those games and he never came back.
Oh, he's playing in Japan.
Yeah. So I think they've done a good job. Urias should never step on another MLB field ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what's deserved, really. It's just unexcusable behavior. It's just bad, however you want to look at it.
Yes.
Why do we need to keep hearing about this shit, you guys? Like, you're millionaires. He was an ace for the Dodgers. He's making money, dude. Like, I know money doesn't fix everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid, but like, I think that you're doing these things, and I mean, this is just a wild assumption on the outside looking in. Like we were talking about for this like power aspect, or this like, you know, I'm the shit and you're below me kind of thing, and that's fucking pathetic, dude. Because
Yeah, just success leads to that behavior.
Arrogance.
Yeah, that arrogance of thinking you're above everything else.
common sense pays it. You get paid to have it, dude. And if you don't love and respect the woman that you call your girlfriend or wife or your partner or whatever, like, don't be around them. Just leave, dude. Straight up.
That's why the world just loves those humble stars. It's just such, it makes everybody feel good. Really.
Yeah, because it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, they sound like me. They're in this whole other realm of life where they're uber successful. They're the 1% of the 1%ers. If you are a professional athlete on any level, you have made it. You are elite. Like, and if you look up to that, yeah, and when you connect with somebody on that level of like, yo, like, I say this all the time, and it bugs me that he's a Niner, but George Kittle seems like if I could choose one guy to go and have a beer with any of the NFL, it'd probably be George Kittle. He sounds like the best dude of all time.
It'd be a good time.
It would be hilarious. Like, but, you know, a good person on and off the field. Like, you don't have to worry about him being a fucking scumbag, dude. Like, and he's great. He's at the tippy top. So humbleness, baby. But with a little bit of braggadocious, right? He does it too. He's got his little, you know.
Yeah, you gotta have that confidence.
Right.
Confidence we're attracted to. It's just that egotistical behavior.
Violence is weak in that case, if you
Yeah.
ask me, bro. That is not. Yeah, but use your common sense, Urias. You're done. Let's move on.
For Fandom, we were thinking about watching some of these big time teams like Bama, teams that have won a lot of championships like the Patriots struggle. So we were thinking for our Fandom is what teams do you wish never would win another one again?
Well, right. So the idea, the overwhelming arc is like, who do you always root against? What are some teams instead of the polling for teams? We obviously know who those are by this time. Like,
So,
who you
team
go-
from
who you-
Boston.
the whole goddamn city.
Pretty much. I'm in that
Celtics,
same camp.
Patriots.
Most teams that play in the SEC. And any team Chuck roots for.
Yeah, that's a friend right there. Yeah. The Mariners because of the A's, the Seahawks because of the Raiders. They love to give me shit about the Sonics. I mean,
They don't exist.
we're coming back 2027.
2027.
I don't know. It should be sooner rather than later. Adam Silver, get on your shit. Get it together.
I mean, we all like to see those dynasties fall as long as it's not
Dude,
your team.
The Yankees, I love watching the Yankees lose. Like,
But I feel like there's even more, like, especially towards the Patriots with all the cheating that was going on. I mean, Alabama's just had such an unfair advantage for so long, and it's finally caught up to them.
The playing field has been leveled for a little bit. Georgia has definitely supplanted them.
And
Clemson is gone. They've fallen off their cliff.
And even if you're not a fan of a team that's good right now, just having that giant fall, it makes you feel like I think you have a better chance going forward. And it can give you a little bit more hope, I think, than you had before.
Oh, if there's not the overlord that's just crushing everybody everywhere they go, for sure. Like, it's good and bad for college football. Alabama moved the needle for fucking years, but, like, I think it's clear to say, I don't know, it's only 3 weeks in, but they have not looked good. And I think, I don't know if I agree with the whole take of almost every SEC team. I get where you're coming from because there's a lot of like snarky SEC football teams.
Well, besides being a snarky SEC football team, it's just that they come in with the pre-rankings, and I understand they get a lot of the high recruits.
Sure.
But I think a lot of the time it's a lot closer than the media projects, and when you project those teams to be at the top at the beginning of the season before they've played a game, and then it plays out and they lose a bunch, but they're still getting those wins that are they're heavy-handed because of those preseason rankings. It makes a fan from another conference go
Yeah, Pac-12, which doesn't exist anymore after this year, never got that kind of respect.
Never. And this year they're having a year.
Duke, I fucking always pull against Duke, especially in like college basketball. God damn it, dude. Like, I never want to see Duke. I traditionally pull against like any team from Texas, really. The Cowboys, the Rangers. I fucking like the Astros.
Agreed.
I used to have a soft spot for the Rockets back in the day. I never really liked the Mavericks. Like, fuck the Cowboys. Like, you know, Texas is pretty much one of those states I avoid when it comes to sports. The Stars beat my Kraken this year, so fuck that.
I mean, to be fair, I'm completely on the other side when it's my team. When the Warriors are winning all those championships, I don't care if we turn out to be the bad guy. I just like to embrace it. Like, I feel like the team did at
I don't
that
think
time.
you were ever considered the bad guy, were you?
I think they were.
I mean,
when Durant joined.
Draymond kind of was
And
always...
Durant had Draymond had that side to
Durant
him.
is such a...
And when Durant came over, I think that made them like the bad guys. And
That's
I loved it.
somebody-
I
if we're
wish he
talking
would have
about-
embraced it and just.
If we're talking
that
about a
guy.
fan, Kevin Durant drives me up a fucking wall, man.
Yeah, me too.
I like, we drafted him. The Sonics franchise drafted him.
You
Even
heard
though he
that?
never
He
played.
won Rookie of the Year.
You heard of that franchise before?
Yeah,
they're
they're in the annals of history. They have one major championship. They have a championship under a Seattle SuperSonics banner, and you cannot take that from me. Los Angeles has
So you've
like
heard of him?
40 or whatever.
So you've heard of him?
Yeah, they don't currently exist. They're just on ice. You
They
know,
don't,
dramatic
yeah, they
effect.
don't currently exist.
Oh, okay.
Currently,
But there was a team long
There
ago
was long
that
ago.
existed that had this name that played for this city. That's
they were
not there
amazing. The
anymore.
Seattle SuperSonics. What a great name! What a great name! Okay, this fandom turned into a ramble.
Yeah,
but like,
we got there.
what?
Just
But hey, we got probably one of the best weeks of college football coming up. So keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on the card that we'll place on Instagram and Twitter.
especially if we go 6-0 tomorrow.
Let's fucking go.
Anything else we got to touch on? Any big things coming up this weekend? Ryder Cup's coming up soon. It's not this weekend, right? It's
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is Saturday though. Like you're talking about all those top 25 matchups.
hot.
A lot of good college football. It's going to be a college football day. This is beginning to end Saturday.
Well, shit, we
football
got
watch.
like literally 3 series left in the regular season of baseball. We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Dude, yeah. Next week we're definitely going to touch on rankings again.
We absolutely
To see
have
where
to.
the movement's
Yeah.
been for the wild cards. Hopefully, I do root for Chuck's M's, so I don't root for every other team. I do hope the M's make the playoffs.
Man, And then the NFL should be great week 3. It's been a roller coaster ride so far. So
And you never know. Some of these like 12-point underdogs could end up getting a dub. You see it here and there.
I mean, it does. Any given Sunday, a fumble, injury, a bad call.
Yeah, we already said we like some of these
can
games.
switch. Sure, things. It's why it's so hard to bet. It's why if we go 6-0, I will feel phenomenal. So thanks for following us. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on Buzzsprout or Spotify, we definitely appreciate the love on those platforms too. Make sure to catch us next week.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks everybody.
everybody.
Instagram and X as well.
X, yes. X-verse. Is it the X-verse? What is it? Whatever. We want to hear from you. Leave us a like, a love, a heart, whatever the hell it is.
We're gonna make the BB verse.
And eventually we're gonna have a team fandom parlay. I'm sure we've been hesitant because we don't always like go with our teams when we.
I don't like to bet on the Seahawks at all.
But
the idea scares the shit out of me.
We've been getting some criticism, and not taking some of those bets.
That's
especially
fine.
when
I
our
don't
teams
necessarily
come
love the
through.
lines on those games. So.
I also, you know what? If we hit 6-0, then these naysayers are just gonna have to follow our picks anyway because we're the one making money, and you're the one
Exactly.
giving advice that we don't need to take.
Yeah. What's up? What's up?
All right. Well, until next week, everybody.
See you guys.